What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Sammy Jo the Fox. You are listening to the Homegirl Fox podcast, and I'm with my special guest of the night, Tony A. the Wizard.
How you doing?
How you doing? We've been waiting for that voice to hit the mic. For real.
I'm doing good. You know what? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I liked when I hit you up. You came over. We did the interview. And you know what? We had such a great response.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes, a lot of people. And let me give a shout out to a guy lives in Odessa, Texas, who's become a fan of yours.
Oh, wow.
Cisco and his wife, Dee Zamora, wanted me to tell you, you know what, that you're dope. They liked your interview.
Man.
They support you from Odessa, Texas. So let me give a shout out to them.
Dang, shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for supporting. Man, that's dope. You were hiding that under, fool. You were hiding that in the pocket right there.
Exactly. Nothing on my sleeves.
That was dope. Well, you know what? I want to say shout out to them, but not just shout out to them, but shout out to all of your following.
Yes.
Because these people ride with you. If you you just like posted me and all, I didn't even, when I walked out of there, all of a sudden I had like a bunch of people just hitting me up left and right. They loved the interview. And not even just if they didn't even hit me up. It was just one of those things where they just added me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you what it was. It's because you came in there, you were a real person. And what I mean by a real person, you were just yourself. You know, there's a lot of people that I interview that go in there and they try to act too hard. They try to act too humble, and it just doesn't come across good on the mic. And you went in there, you were yourself, and people vibed and liked that. And people like you are the type of people that people want to support.
I appreciate that. And your following are the people I fuck with. You know what I mean? Like it's your following are the people that I'm like, I almost have been in search for real, because it's been hard, like I said, even on your show as a female, you know what I mean, to be myself.
Yes.
I've been told so many times not to be.
I don't
For the sake of the job, you know?
Yeah. You know, and I'm glad you brought that up, because when I first started this podcast, Roadium Radio, I was grooming a female to do it.
Oh, to be like a co-host with you?
And then eventually me just get out the way and let her do it.
Oh,
you know?
shoot.
Well,
using male privilege to help the homegirl out.
Yeah.
Love that.
You know, and then due to unfortunate circumstances, she couldn't do it. So I told my boys, who's going to do it? And they said, fuck it, you do it. And I was like, fuck it then. So all I did was went live and I started talking shit and started drinking a little bit, and everybody liked it. So here I am.
Well, speaking of drinks, the homie Eric brought you a little something. He was watching the Be Real interview. I saw a little bit. I saw you getting a little bit contact high.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, I saw you guys talking. And you know what's funny too, man? Shout out to Be Real. I actually really missed him just watching you guys talk.
Yes.
But Be Real's a great. A lot of people don't realize how great Be Real is at what he does. Like, people just don't really realize that this guy is not just a rapper and like a writer or producer or any of that, but like he can hold a fucking show.
Yes.
You know what I mean? No offense to the homies, C-, all the guys, E-Zone, but this dude could do it alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this guy can talk. He knows how to format in his brain. And I'm assuming that you saw the way they prep themselves, right?
Yes.
It's like 5 blunts each person. I used to have to try and keep up with that shit.
I know. I mean, and he's smoking it like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm like, fuck.
I know. After a while, I'd forget what the fuck was happening.
I know, exactly. So, but you know what? Not only a great, you know, like you said, a podcaster, but fucking great performer.
Oh, great. Oh, yeah. Fuck. Oh, yeah. Like, he has switches. Like, B-Roll's like a fucking lowrider himself, for reals. He has switches and he hits them all different. And going to say that about B-Roll, like, just as a person, he's actually a very humble, like, one of the humblest celebrities I've ever met.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he hasn't changed. He's just always the same G. And shout out to him for giving me a chance, because this is why I do what I do, and this is why I get to sit with Tony.
Absolutely. So much love.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and get into your story. I want you to crack this open, man. I went ahead and opened this for you. I want you to take a little swig before we get started.
One day, you know, I want to come out with my own tequila.
You should. You know how many people support you on that shit?
I don't know what I would call it. Like, I saw Espelon, so I thought a lot of Mexican dudes are bald-headed, call it El Pelon. You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I thought.
Well, you're getting there. You seem like you don't seem like, you actually are a very creative man.
Tonquila.
Tonquila.
You know
Hey, that's pretty good.
So
Tonquila Vision.
So don't steal it, anybody, all right?
For real.
I'll crack it open in a minute, I promise you.
Okay. Take your time.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's get right into it. Where you from? Let people know where you're from.
I'm from the city of Wilmington, where when my mother and my father first came here from Mexico, from Torreon, Coahuila, every time I say that, other people say, where? Who? You know, because there's a lot of people that never heard of it. Mm-hmm. But when they came there from Mexico, we moved to the city of Compton. I could have easily claimed Compton, but I only lived there till I was 9.
Okay.
And I grew up in my city all of my life. Now, I've known people that claim Compton, and I've asked them, how long have you lived there? We moved out when we were 7. But claim Compton. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you lived in this other city 40 years, but you claim this one, you know.
Yep.
I don't claim Compton, but
even though you're from the generation of what's known to claim, though.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like people after, like I'm even like seeing it even more so. I had a homegirl here the other day who like she wanted to check me and everything, and I was like, I have to remember that was like that's the era that she's from,
right?
Where that shit's real,
right?
So that's definitely your style.
I got a lot of friends that live in Compton, so there's no offense. It's just that I claim where I live.
For sure. Okay? For sure.
But yeah, I lived there my entire life. I went to Broad Avenue Elementary School. I went to Wilmington Junior High School, and I went to Banning High School, where I regret not finishing. So,
okay.
And you know what? Many times I wear the color red, and let me explain why.
Okay.
Somebody told me one day, you wear a lot of red on your podcast. Are you a norteño? First of all, I wear red and black a lot because those are my high school colors.
Okay, yeah.
Those are, let me in order, black and red. My high school in the 80s won state championships.
Okay.
So it's a pride thing for me.
I feel you. So, I wear the same. I wear blue and yellow all the time, and people are like, that's kind of random, but then they're like, it's kind of fly too, you know. But I'm like, I'm wrapped. That to me, it means Montebello.
Right.
That's where I'm from, you know.
Yeah. So there, I answered it.
So it's a high school thing.
Yeah, it's a high school thing.
Yeah.
And but you know, I like all colors. My favorite color is blue, but I get the most compliments when I wear red. So.
Me too. That's weird.
Yeah, so I wear.
Well,
red.
we look good in red, and we're not wearing it. All right, so that's the high school and in elementary and whatnot. So I'm assuming that the hip hop came in the high school years.
I would say it came to me, I want to say in 8th grade.
Okay, so going to high school, junior high, yeah.
Because back then, junior high school started at 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that is junior.
Now it's 6th, 7th, 8th.
Yes,
okay,
correct.
First time I ever went to a nightclub, I was 11 years old.
What?
Okay? Yes, I met an 11-year-old kid the other day, and I felt so bad because this little chubby kid looked like Chanchito from Nacho Libre. Okay?
Yeah.
So I asked him, hey, man, how old are you? He goes, 11. And he had a little lisp.
Yeah.
And so at that moment, I thought to myself, I had no business going to a nightclub. So I asked him, when I was your age, I went to a nightclub, and this is what he said. What's that? And I'm thinking, how in the hell did I know? And I said, un discoteca where people pay to go dance. And he goes,
nope.
Like it didn't register.
Yeah. He wasn't living that fast
right.
yet.
So my brother, who was a DJ at a club in Long Beach, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, he would go spin.
Okay.
That's what we used to call it back then, DJing, spinning.
Yeah, for sure.
So one day, I asked him, I want to go to the club with you because there was the 18 and over club. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, you're not doing good in school. He said, if you can get your grades together, he said, I'll take you with me.
That's what's up, the big
so,
bro.
Believe me, I got my grades together. Yeah. I graduated. My mom bought me a 3-piece blue polyester suit from Kmart. You know, pants, chaleco, and the jacket. Comb my hair to the side for the first time. Because before I used to part it in the middle like a book.
Yeah.
You know? So
shout out to Kmart.
Yeah. And it was on a Friday. I graduated, so I said I'm ready. And he said, "You graduated today?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes like, "Okay." So he asked my mom, "He graduated?" Yeah. He goes, "Yeah." He wanted to make sure. Yeah, and he goes, "Okay, go get ready." And I said, "I'm going like this."
Yep,
I have my graduation suit.
Yeah, so you're fresh.
Said, okay, let's go. We drive to Long Beach. He goes, wait for me in the car. I got to go in there, start the music. The manager's not here yet. Then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to sneak you in, but you got to stay in the DJ booth. So that was the first time. I saw anybody DJ. Now keep in mind, at that time there was no hip hop. Probably Rapper's Delight was probably the new song. And I remember I was in 6th grade.
Wow.
I just graduated.
Yeah.
And that's the first time, you hear I said a hip, huh?
Yeah.
A hip it, that type of shit.
Yeah.
Then, so I go there and I see him play Prince. I see him play Roger and Zapp. It was mostly the funk era.
Okay, for sure.
And at that moment, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew it. And I'm going to tell you, I saw almost like power in DJing controlling the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what it is.
And at 11 years old, I saw that. So now, skip a year. I'm probably in 8th grade. And I had a friend, Nathan Gale, rest in peace. He was actually killed right out of high school. He tells me, do you know what scratching is? And I was like, nah. When I think of scratching, I'm thinking,
Yeah, scratch, like a natural,
And he goes, no, it's a guy that does this with the record. So I was like, no, I don't know what this is with the record.
Yeah.
So I remember a couple of weeks later, I saw a commercial of Grandmaster Flash, from the Grandmaster Flash and the Wheels of Steel. It was a record called Grandmaster Flash and the Wheels of Steel, and the group was called Melly Mel, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
Oh, yeah, the Furious Five, for sure.
So I saw a commercial where he was scratching, and he turns around, scratches behind his back, and my mind was just blown. I was like, what
In love, yeah.
Yes, what the hell is that? So I went back and I told my friend, hey, you told me something about scratching. And you told me it's something that goes like this.
Yeah.
He said, can you show me? He goes, I don't know how to do it. He goes, but I have a record by Grandmaster Flash. And I was like, are you serious? And he said, yeah. So he brought me the record. I took it home. And this was like the way I would do mixtapes. Obviously, but he did it on a record.
Yeah.
This was a vinyl. So I heard him scratch Good Times by Lashik. And it was just so simple. But back then, it was like rocket science.
Yeah.
Good. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, he's moving the volume down and then up, down and up. So I had a home stereo.
Yeah.
So I had the record.
Yeah.
I just grabbed it and I was practicing doing this.
Wow. Talking about the silver one?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. But not knowing.
I pictured it.
Not knowing I didn't have a scratch pad under the record, so I was fucking up the record under.
Yeah.
So.
They weren't the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how.
That's the one with like the top with like you see through, right?
That's how I got started into like hip hop / DJing.
Okay.
So here's my first gig. Okay.
All right.
So the school, the junior high school says, we're looking for a DJ. They wanted students to get involved. Mm-hmm. And they put up flyers all over the school. We're looking for a DJ to DJ noon dances.
Okay.
Okay. So some kids can eat their lunch or some kids can go dance.
Yeah. I used to love the dances at school.
And you know what I did? I went around and I took down all the flyers.
So you could be the DJ.
Yes. And
Smart man.
I went in there and I said, I'm a DJ. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I knew my brother had records.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, so let me show you the equipment. They had a cassette player, a mixer with a round fader, and I said, that's perfect because I have a round volume at home, and one old ass turntable. So I'm thinking, when he's talking, I'm thinking, okay, I have like 12 records. I got to transfer all them songs into a cassette so I can play them. When that song ends, then I'll play the next one.
The next one.
I was already thinking, he goes, when can you do it? And I said, well, whenever. Well, at that time, I wasn't really a popular kid. Believe it or not, if you weren't one of the popular kids and you were just Mexican, you were just called a wetback.
I believe it.
Period.
I believe it. Yeah.
Let's just say after that noon dance, I was no longer the wetback.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were popping.
Yes, I was popping.
Yeah.
And I knew if I fuck up, everybody's going to laugh. I would be the laughing stock. But after that, everybody, I didn't know you were a DJ.
You. Yeah.
And I was saying to myself, neither did I.
I love that.
But that's how I started.
That's great. Yeah. Dang, that's amazing. Because like go way later, but like the school dances I went to, like we had like some adult like DJ. You know what I mean? Like nobody in school except for sure like pop locking and break dancing. Like that meant you were the shit, and everyone else was not.
Yes.
So I definitely want to be a part of that too.
Now let me just share something, because this is where I have always considered myself to be a blessed man. And I'll tell you why. Because of the people that I believe that I've always crossed paths with. When I wanted to learn how to pop, back in the days.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that there's a guy he's from my neighborhood named Michael Chambers. He went by the name of Boogaloo Shrimp, and in Breaking he went by the name Turbo.
Turbo.
That's him. He's from my neighborhood. Okay.
Oh shit.
We went to junior high school together. We went to high school together.
Wow.
I spent the whole summer with them, just cruising around with a boombox. Actually walking around because we couldn't cruise. We didn't have a car.
Yeah.
And he taught me how to pop. So
wow, you were taught by Turbo.
Yes.
That's I didn't expect that, but I love this.
Yeah. And so I wanted to do, which I didn't know, the 4 elements of hip hop, because hip hop was still brand new.
Yeah.
You know, according to his, hip hop historians, August 11th, 1973 is when hip hop pretty much started with the party at DJ Kool Herc's house in the Bronx, which I've been
Bronx,
there.
yeah. Oh, okay.
You know, and so this was, I don't know, maybe 1980, maybe, if not. Maybe I got my dates wrong, but hip hop wasn't even 10 years old.
Wow.
And I was learning how to pop and going against people.
Yeah, you had to battle.
Yeah.
You can't go out there and just dance. Like,
exactly.
Someone's going to step in that circle.
So years go on. I'm in high school. Then I'm at the club with my brother, and here walks in this one guy, big afro, Run DMC hat, and he wants to spin. So my brother had to go take a piss. Mm-hmm. He didn't quite trust me on the turntables yet.
Yeah.
And he said, I need to go. And I said, hey, Mario, there's a guy here that wants to spin, and he wants to know if, you can let him. And he goes, okay, bring him in, because I really got to go take a leak. So he brings him in, and my brother goes, okay. And he told him, my brother was a real tough guy, and he told him just like this, I'm gonna let you spin, but if you fuck up, I'm gonna beat your ass. He told him just like that.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, damn, like that, And so he said, tell my brother to get you 2 records. Whatever record you want, he'll get them to you. So he looks at me and goes, I want Let's Work by Prince. And I was like,
nice. So you were kind of like the runner for a little bit.
So I was digging the records, and I go, here it is. And he goes, no, I need 2. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, what do you need 2 for?
Yeah.
Right.
He was going to scratch.
So Prince had just dropped that 12-inch single, Let's Work. So, and then my brother tells him again, you better not fuck up, bro. That's my name. And he told him, man, I'm not sorry, bro. He goes, let me spin.
Yeah.
So he lowers the volume, and he starts scratching, and the whole club turns around. And he was like, and I was like, what the fuck was that? Because other than Grandmaster Flash going good, this guy was on a whole other level.
Yeah.
And that guy became my friend and my mentor, DJ Joe Cooley, for Rodney and Joe Cooley.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, so this is what you really mean when you say, like, blessed, because you have just been around some of the biggest people to teach you like the most epic things you can learn from. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing though. But it's not, it's fate. It's real life. It was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're
Tony.
still friends to this day.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope.
And let me tell you something.
I love that. That's crazy.
And even though I'm older now, I still have the same respect for these guys as I had when I first met them.
For sure.
So here's my next one. Unless you want to.
No, you're good. Okay. No, you're good. I was going to say one time I brought that Breaking movie to my class, and everybody hated me. They took that shit off real quick. Oh. I was like, what? I just always been like a little older than... I have an old soul or something. Like I should have grown up in that era.
Right.
Because my people just did not fuck with it. You know what I mean? But I have the utmost respect for that. Go on.
So, but let me say something about Michael Chambers. Okay, even though his family still lives there, but he doesn't. He is the one responsible. And I don't care what anybody says. And I try to debate people, and they don't have enough proof. He is the one that taught Michael Jackson how to do the backslide that Michael Jackson calls the moonwalk. Okay, because the moonwalk was actually you're standing still and you're just moving like
you're not moving anywhere.
You're not moving anywhere. Yeah, that's what the moonwalk was. The backslide was what we called it. He changed it to the moonwalk.
Wow.
And he told me the story when he went. He actually didn't meet Michael Jackson in the very beginning. All they did was they had cameras all on his feet and for the north, east, south, and west. Yeah. And he just had him do it, and he would hear his voice, have him do it again. So he knew it was him. And at the very end, Michael Jackson came out and gave him a check. Wow. And then that's how we met him.
That's crazy.
People were thinking that it was a guy from the group Shalimar that taught him how to do that. Mm-hmm. One thing about Turbo, he did a documentary and he actually shows proof, that it was him. So,
yeah, because they had video.
Yeah, I have to give him his flowers on that he's the one that taught him. So Michael Jackson actually touched the world with that dance that came from my neighborhood.
There you go. Hell yeah. Fucking Tony, man. See, this is why this is not only blessed, but just well respected all around. Like, you were there. You know what I mean? You were there. You were neighbors. It was in your city. It was, you know what I mean? Like, most people can't come out and especially have a podcast and interview all these people and not have that. Like, I don't. Shit. I told you right now, nobody liked that fucking movie. But that's great. Like, do you have your own? I know, and we're going to talk about the documentary, but do you have your own?
As far as what?
For you.
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, like, I feel super honored and humbled right now, just in this moment that we're talking, not to fucking be an ass kisser or any of that shit, but just because you brought it to my podcast and you laid that shit out. I love stories like that. Yeah. Back in the day when I used to hang out with Tattoo a lot, he had a lot of stories like that. And, they're things that I love. They're things that I find super exciting. But like I said, go to someone my age and then they're like, fucking what?
Right.
But I love it. I love it. Thank you for bringing that to my table.
All good.
And I love Michael Jackson. I'm still fucking defending this fool forever. All right. So let's go from that. So you were in the club at 11, you're finding out what scratching is, the homie gets down and he becomes your mentor.
Yes.
So at what age did he become your mentor?
I want to say I was probably, because I was supposed to graduate in, I want to say 16. I want to say I was probably either 13 or 14 years old.
13 or 14. Yeah. Did your brother, like, did he feel insulted, or was your brother part of helping you figure this out too?
My brother provided records for me. My brother connected me to who would become my manager, which is STEVE YANO, who the documentary is based on. But my brother believed in me. He, after a while, I became, because back then it was funny. When I had to go use the restroom or take a break when I was DJing, say you were a DJ, you would be my breaker.
Oh, okay. That's what it's called.
Breaks. Yes.
Okay.
So I became his breaker later on.
Hell
and
yeah.
That was, I lived the whole fucking week just for that moment.
Yeah.
15 minutes, guys.
Hell yeah.
And that was it. I tried to squeeze in as much as motherfucking songs as I could in that bitch.
Well, for sure. Like, first of all, you became in love with it at a young age. Like, most people don't, like, well, not even most people, because if you're lucky to be able to find out that early, man, that's the time. You know what I mean? Kids go all in on whatever they want to do.
Right.
When they want to play sports, they're outside after school or practice and still playing.
Right.
Compared to adults where you have to go to work and you got to do all this shit. And then they're like, what the fuck? No one's doing that. No one's getting paid for this shit,
Right.
But this became something really quick at a young age.
Yes.
That's another blessing in itself.
Yes. Now, let me back up a little bit because it sets up my next story, who I met next.
Okay.
I was 11 years old at the time that I went to the club. But before I went to the club, my brother we used to sell at a swap meet in the city of Gardena called Ascot. And those of you that are my age, used to be called the Vermont Swap Meet. Used to be across the street from a place called Ascot. Ascot was a place where they used to actually race cars professionally.
Okay.
It's in the city of Gardena. It's no longer there. So if you're my age, you would know where it's at. But it's in the city of Gardena. The swap meet was called the Vermont Swap Meet. So we used to sell there. So one day my brother tells me, go with me. He says, I want you to meet Steve. Who's Steve? Some Chino. For us, Mexican people, I don't care if he's Filipino, Korean, Japanese, or Chinese. We call them all Chinos. I don't know why. But that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
No offense to no one.
Yeah.
So
not in an offending way either. Like, for real, like the Chinos will speak Spanish.
Right.
Straight up.
So I went to his record stand, and I remember he played a rap song. It was called Wicca Rap. You guys look it up. Coolio made it famous when he sampled it, and he said, 1, 2, 3, 4, get you booty. That's the original song. So he was playing it, and then the pop locking came out of me. I started doing Turbo's moves right in front of his stand.
In front of Steve's stand?
In front of Steve's record stand.
So his stand first was there at the Vermont Swap Meet. Okay.
Yes. So he called me over and he tells my brother, who's this kid? And he said, oh, that's my brother. He says, come here, man. Show me some more of your moves. So I started popping, but I was drawing a crowd.
Yeah. Did you have your gloves on and everything?
No, nothing.
Dog?
I was sleepy as hell too because it was early in the morning.
It was just the beat going through you.
My brother would go early in the morning to get the first dibs on the records.
Yeah.
So he said, hey man, can you carry one of these crates? And I said, yeah. So I picked it up and he goes, do you want a job? And I said, okay, doing what? And he goes, just sitting back here with my wife and, working with us, $20 for 2 days. So I was thinking, okay, cool, frozen burritos from the snack bar.
Hey, and $20 went a long way this time.
Yeah, playing Star Castle, Donkey Kong, and all these games. So I was like, yeah, okay. He goes, and you get like 15-minute breaks. So I work with them. I want to say from when I was 11 till I was 13 years old.
Okay.
So and then he said that the business was dying down. He had to go to a different location.
Okay.
Now, Steve was a smart man. He was going to San Diego State to be a psychologist.
Okay.
But what happened was he saw that within a year he would make more money than studying psychology, selling at the swap meets, and being a distributor.
Yeah.
So he went full time into it, and then he said, "I'm gonna have to start moving to a different swap meet because we're not making no more money here." So I said, "Well, I can't work because my mom sells here, and I can't get a ride to the Roadium, which is in the same city."
Yeah.
And so he left.
Yeah.
I didn't see him anymore. So I started my DJ career soon after that. Then I heard a mixtape in 1986.
Okay.
One of my friends played it for me, and it said, Dr. Dre, Steve Yano, the Roadium Swapmeet. And I'm like, what the fuck? So for those of you guys that are fans of Roadium Radio, those are the mixtapes that I play at the intro.
Yeah.
Okay. So I convinced one of my friends, said, man, you got to take me, bro. I want to see how Steve knows Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Because to me, that was Dr. Dre of the world-class Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
I didn't know him of NWA because NWA didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
So this was maybe early 87. And I was maybe 18 or 19 years old, around there.
Okay.
So I didn't think he would recognize me. It was maybe about 6 years later.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get there, we meet eyes, and he recognized me. He goes, hey, what's up, Tony?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wow, you recognize me? And he goes, yeah, you're a lot taller now. He goes,
yeah. I was going to say, fucking probably shot up.
Yeah. So what happened was I see Dre right behind him.
Oh, shit.
And I'm fucking shocked. I'm like, damn.
Man.
I'm like super geeked out.
Yeah, because Dre was already popping before NWA, whether street music wise already. It was like Dr. Dre's coming.
Yes.
He's here.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone know him.
So the thing that Steve asked me, he said, what are you doing now? And I said, well, I'm a DJ. And he said, really? Well, show me. Steve was one of the originators that would have turntables and a mixer at the swap meet.
Nice.
And he would have open mics like, hey, you rap or you want to say something?
Smart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I got 2 records and I started scratching. And I've shared this story before, but the thing that meant the most to me was when I was cutting it up, Dre taps me on the shoulder and he says, oh, you did a good job.
Oh,
now,
shit.
Little did he know that a lot of the stuff that he did on a song called Dr. Dre in Surgery, he did a lot of scratching. I emulated a lot of the scratches.
I remember that visual of the doctor and the...
Yes.
Yeah, he's like in a lab.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he tells me, I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to give you my cousin's number. He's doing a record for the owner of VIP Records in Long Beach. His name's Calvin Anderson. And everybody knows VIP Records because Snoop made it famous.
For sure.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, here's what a lot of people may not know. Okay. His cousin was Sir Jinx, who produced all of Ice Cube shit, No Vaseline.
Sir
the
Jinx,
number 1 disc song record in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. But he was only like 16 years old at the time.
Wow.
So the rapper was named Dazzy D. That record came out in 1987, the first scratching that I ever did on a record. And it was for the owner of VIP Records. They had a record label called Thin Line Records. And I'm going to say this, and I challenge people, this was before the Nate Dogg's and the Snoops and the Warren G's were going to over there.
Okay.
So before they did their video in the 90s, I was there in the 80s. So I have VIP history as well.
For sure.
That's why in my documentary, Calvin Anderson, the owner of VIP, is the first guy that I interviewed.
Yeah.
Because I had to pay him homage.
Oh, yeah. And you sure did the shit out of paying homage, period. And more so not just to even just Steve, but to hip hop, period, in the West Coast culture. And let's get into that right now, because that's where this whole story is just leading to, and it's a beautiful thing. I wanted Tony here because I want him to say his story. I think his stories are super important, but more than that too, I also really want to push this documentary that he put out for Steve Yano.
Yes.
And for hip hop, honestly, like for hip hop.
Yeah.
We were talking about a little bit off screen about some of the things that people don't get the credit for. You know what I mean? The people don't get credit for building the stages that people walk on. And that's just straight up. Like all the time, everything is overlooked. But the homie Tony has done something super special for Steve Yano. And as he went through his story to tell you of when he met him and how he got him a job at a young age. So this man put money in your pocket at one time in your life. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And coming up through, like, and being Latino, like,
yeah,
that's another blessing in itself. And then for years later, a couple years later, to have that full circle moment again and have him back in your life was very, very meant to be. Yes. So what you're doing seems 10 times more powerful just fucking knowing that background story. So let's talk about your documentary. Okay. I watched it. I made these fools watch it. That's why they're sitting over there like fangirled the fuck out. They don't know what to do. But I loved it. I'm gonna say it again because we said it off screen. The visuals, just, oh man, it's just epic. It just, you know what the visuals, I was like, this could have been something that was in the NWA movie. Like, it just had that it brightened up your eyes. It took you to 1987, 1985, 1988. Yes. But you did it with you threw your Tony vision on it, and that shit came out clean as hell. Yeah, but the respect levels in there, you can't beat that. There is no fucking debate, Tony. There's no debating with you. Like, you were there, and those people paid homage back.
Yeah,
they really did. It's crazy how you put a documentary together to pay homage to Steve.
Yeah.
But I could feel the love for even you in that documentary, and I was like, man, this is like not only a neat project, but it's super relevant to this day.
Yeah.
You know, somebody posted today, and I'm not gonna say who. It was a DJ, and he's like on the radio and everything, and I posted like, man, we really need to stop calling it mixtape. Because he's like, oh, mixtape coming out, blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, after watching that documentary, I'm like, I don't even want to use that word lightly no more. You know what I mean? Right. You're right. It all started with a cassette.
Yes.
And that traveled for many years. Like, even for me as a kid, born in 88, I couldn't really afford albums growing up. Uh-huh. So a lot of people, like, because I have a music show and because I'm interested in music, they'll be like, yeah, this album or this album, and they name them, and they're like, with the cover and that, and I'm like, I'm lost.
Uh-huh.
Like, I was poor, so like there was no, the biggest CD I have, like, that I cherish till this very day is literally the Chronic 2001. That's like happy birthday money put together. You know what I mean? But before that, like, cassettes and all that, like, no, like, if your mom bought them or your stepdad had them, like, that was me. I wasn't one of those people who really got to do that stuff. If we were going to buy Tower Records or something like that, it was very window shopper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I never got to really dip into those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you were there from the get when the vinyls were coming out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where you actually needed the 2 vinyls. And I have friends who are DJs, and I know how much more easier it is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I actually have techniques, and I have a controller, because when I found out how easy it was, I said, give me that fucking controller. This shit is hard. But there's just a respect that I have for those techniques that I can't let them go.
Right.
And I actually have them with a friend. Shout out to the homie Sequence, because he wanted to start doing it again.
Okay.
And I didn't want to let him go. So I was like, let me put them in good hands. Someone who respects the whole, situation. Yes. And the documentary really touched on that respect for the DJ.
Yes.
So let's talk about the respect for the DJ and putting this documentary together.
Well, I have several friends in New York, and for me, a lot of things were birthed out of New York. I'm not going to say pop locking, because I truly believe that pop locking was started here. Okay. But breaking and DJing as far as cutting and scratching.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of that stuff came from New York. So growing up, I was raised on East Coast rap because that was the majority of everything that was coming out.
For sure.
So
as a start.
Yes. So, and of course, out here, much respect to guys like Ice-T and Toddy T and Mixmaster Spade and Dre and those guys, but there wasn't enough yet to compare to what was coming out.
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I talked to a lot of my DJ friends from New York, and my thing was this: we admit. They admit that hip hop started with the DJ. If you go back to the beginning with Kool Herc, he was a DJ. You know, the rapper back then was just an MC, master of ceremonies, that would just be like, say ho, ho, you know, that type of shit.
Legit MCing.
Right. The DJ could and then boom, okay.
Fool, that's just dope right there. What the fuck?
But let me tell you something, and the great DJs can all admit this, that if you hear it here, you can put it here. Mm-hmm. The dudes that don't hear it here bite everybody else's shit.
Ah, yeah.
That's you have to be blessed with that gift.
Yeah.
Technology today has made it so easy that anybody can do it. You don't even have to be talented anymore.
Oh no, for sure.
You know, they made it. Or look, just put your fingers right here and flick them.
There's a sync button.
Yeah.
I didn't even know people were really using that because I even though I have the controller, just so you know, Tony, I have never used that sync button. You know what I mean? I hope to one day like really be good at it. Right, you know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like there's a lot of time that you really need to take to really do this, which is why it's never been my thing to like be like, no, I have to do this. I've never made that valuable time to do it.
Right.
And it does take time. That's why like I have a lot of friends who are DJs and I know that a lot of them who make bank and whatnot. And to me, I know the background story. I've been in the DJ booth watching, and I know that a lot of people are getting paid a lot of money not to do much.
I know.
You know what I mean? And
sometimes pre-recorded sets.
Oh, it's to a whole different standard because now everything's on social media. So even your looks could get you the fucking gig.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sync button, looks, and if you know a lot of people on Instagram, you got a lot of followers, you know?
You know, since we're talking about the DJing, let me just give an example. I think a lot of rap today sounds the same, okay?
For sure.
Just like the DJ, if you can hear it here, you could do it right here. Mm-hmm. A lot of rappers that are not talented but may have a good voice, they can't write, but they'll get a ghostwriter to write for them.
For sure.
Here's the ghostwriting part when it comes to DJing. Back then, the scratching was right here with the record.
Yeah.
If you can hear you sing it, then you put it together on the record.
Yeah, you were the engineer.
Yes. Today, it's just flick your fingers on the fader.
Oh, yeah, I see.
And then just move the record back and forth. Now you can make UFO noises. And every DJ sounds the same now.
Yeah.
Now, back then,
that's crazy.
Not one DJ sounded the same. And I'll tell you why. Because if you stole somebody scratching, you're a biter.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
Yeah, people more put you on blast and like made you claim that shit.
Yes.
Poser. It was this.
You know.
Yeah.
Snoop was criticized for saying this. He said in the 80s and 90s, no two rappers sounded the same.
Wow. Oh man, I think I missed that. I didn't realize he was criticized for it, but that makes sense.
He said no two rappers sounded the same. Everybody had their own sound because if you took somebody's style, you were fucking biting.
Hell yeah.
He said today everybody sounds the same.
For sure.
All the DJs sound the same.
Yeah, it's a lot of trap. It's a lot of trap right now.
You know, and then when I speak truth, people get offended. You know, I've said this before. We live in a society, in a generation now that doesn't give a fuck, but is easily offended.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know what? The young always feel attacked by the old school. You know what I mean? But it's because the old school, like we said, like these are the originators. So how can you tell somebody who started something that they're wrong? You know what I mean? It's just there really is no debate. You know, thankfully we do have some people out here who really give, you know, the older heads the flowers and whatnot. But we do have a lot of youngsters who are out here disrespecting, like, oh, he's an old head and he don't fucking know, and times have changed. And I get it to like a certainty, but you still have to do that. Like, wow, this shit would have never happened had not those people set those pavements for you. You know what I mean?
And that's why I pay homage to everyone before me, because these new artists are eating what these artists have built for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I feel like the value of the DJ is we don't even realize yet, and some of you guys just don't realize it if you're not into it on the background end, but like it's just so much devalue. Yeah. It's just so much devalue because the producers are doing all that shit for you now.
You know what made like a show great? You had Run DMC and Jam Master Jay. Okay, then you had DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince actually named his DJ before himself.
Wow.
You know, and then you had Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Grandmaster Flash was not a rapper; he was a DJ.
Yeah.
You know, and so back then the DJ was put first. Today, these guys, fuck the DJ.
Yeah.
Know? Just press play.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're so. That's what I mean when I say they're devalued. They make them look like they ain't really nothing. Half the time DJs are DJing for a couple bucks, you know what I mean? 100 to 200 here. A lot of them, you know, they know how to hold themselves to a certain T, but they don't use their talents to do that. They use the name that they've built for themselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're using the name that some radio put them on, but it's not like there's anything different from any other DJs on the radio. It's just, you know, it's fucked up.
I'm working with an artist named Mr. D.
He's your artist.
He's an old soul. Okay. You look at him and you think that he should have been in the movie Boulevard Nights. Okay. But he's an old soul that has fucking lyrics. Okay.
Okay.
Only somebody like that could have brought me out of retirement. But I'm gonna give you guys an example. When we start doing shows, I'm gonna be DJing for him.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna be DJing because his music, his skill is a throwback.
Okay.
So and
it needs that DJ.
Yes.
Wow. That's dope.
I'm gonna bring out my own hype man before he comes out.
There it is.
You know, so
do it the right way.
Do it the right way.
Yes.
Give everybody a if you will, for a moment, a picture of what hip hop was at one point.
Wow. Yeah. You know. Hell yeah.
But
I love that. Fuck, there's gonna be some fucking Broadway musical about fucking all this shit. Like we're gonna see it. Just wait. Let's get to the mixtape. We went through the DJ stuff right now, and now let's see how we created that as a DJ into the mixtape.
Okay. Before I started doing the mixtapes for Steve, of course, just like every other DJ, we did pause button mixtapes.
Yep.
And let me just explain that for maybe somebody young is listening, doesn't know what that is.
Yeah, they don't even know what a cassette is.
Right. We had a turntable, and on the turntable, there was like a home stereo, there was a cassette player. Cassette was about this big. You put it in, you press record. Put the needle on, the song plays. When the song's about to end, there's a certain part of the song that you press pause. Take off the needle, get your next record, put it on, you hold it. When that part of this song comes on, you unpause it. So when you're done with your pause mixtape, there's no breaks. It just continues to play and play. So that's all I did.
Yeah.
So in 1987, it was almost the end of 87, Dre was getting ready to start producing the NWA, the Michel'le, the DOC, the Eazy-E album, I think it's Above the Law album.
Yeah, he was about to take the fuck off.
So he told me, I can't do the mixtapes anymore. He goes, but I've seen you come over, because I used to go to the, I always tell people, in the movie Straight Outta Compton, when Dre left his mom's house to go live with Sir Jinx, that's when I met him.
Yeah.
At that time. And he goes, I can't do the mixtapes anymore, but we'll still rap on them.
Okay.
I said, okay, cool. So I would do the mixtapes. So STEVE YANO finally comes over to my house, and I'm thinking, because I've heard Dre do the mixtapes, and at this point, I didn't know how he was doing them. Any DJ, and if they say they knew, they are lying. Every DJ that heard those tapes thought that Dre had 4 turntables.
Yeah, I saw in the documentary.
Everybody thought that.
Yeah.
I thought that.
Yeah.
So Steve comes over, and I told him, I don't have 4 turntables. And he goes, don't worry, I'll show you how we do them. I was like, okay. So he brings this little box. It's a Tascam Porta 1. You guys can look it up or Google it. Tascam Porta 1 4-track. And just a little box. And I said, what's that? And he goes, that's how we do the mixtapes. And I said, for reals? And he said, yeah. And he goes, look, here's what you do. I go, but I don't have 4. He goes, Tony, you don't need 4 turntables. He said, pick some good hip-hop instrumentals that you like. So let's just say I take Payback from Roxanne Shante. Say I take Biz Markie, Nobody Beats the Biz instrumental. He said, okay, play that one for about 3 minutes, and then mix this one for about 3 minutes. Get another instrumental, plays. We're going to put all of that on track 1. And I was like, okay. And he goes, now, in the very beginning, now we have these songs playing on track 1. On track 2, start doing some scratching. So I was like, okay, like what? And he said, like little snippets. He goes, let me explain.
You mean
to
like in between?
No, on top.
Oh, on top of that.
Layering.
On top of, okay.
So let's just say you had a boom, 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 boom. So I would just like, chick, hey. He goes, okay, we're going to put the next one. And I go, that's it? He goes, listen. So I take more bounce. Boom. Said, okay, get another one. Like, ow. So it would be like,
all the beginning intros.
Ow. And that's how it was coming out together. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
When I heard it all done, he goes, we're going to do 3 minutes of this on the intro. And then after that, we just play songs. So every mixtape, the first 3 minutes, you're going to cut it up. So I was like, chick 1, chick 2, chick 3, you know. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to work magic with this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because I had an imagination.
Yeah. And you started to hear what you wanted to make after a while.
Exactly. And that's one important thing about great producers and great DJs and great cinematographers, people that make movies, that you see it already done before you even started it.
A vision.
Yes.
Tony Vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I know exactly. So you know what I started doing? I started dissing fools. Fuck you.
Like, you know what? I actually wanted to ask you about that. I wanted to ask you, like, I mean, okay, so these mixtapes that they created, well, Dr. Dre started them.
Yes.
And obviously it was an idea, a business idea too from Steve.
Correct.
Okay. But then he left that behind. Tony was the man in charge after that. Basically, if you guys didn't catch that, that's what that was. When you started doing that, I was gonna ask, because the people that were jumping on, the people that you were playing that music, it wasn't just like the big people, right? It was like people in the street.
Just people in the street. So now I'm gonna quote Arabian Prince, because he said before the NWA music hit the stores, they were on the Roadium mixtapes first. So Dre would tell Steve, put this one on the mixtape.
Yeah.
See what the reaction is.
Yeah.
That was a great indicator. They had 3 songs. LA is the Place, Fat Girl on My Jock, and Boys in the Hood. And Steve told him, that's your song. So one day we were all at the swap meet. Dre was there, Easy was there, and Steve played LA is the Place. People, that swap meet was always crowded. Like it still is today. Nobody gave a shit. They play Fat Girl on My Jock. Nobody gave a shit. You know, cruising down the street in my 6'4", everybody like, flies on shit.
What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this? Okay, if you listen to the scratching, like on that song, on 8 Ball, on Gangster, it's all the same scratching that he did on the Roadium mixtapes.
Yeah,
he just took what worked, what people were buying, implemented it on music, so people were already familiar with it.
Yeah,
you know, and
smart.
Look, let me tell you something. It was a great indicator to leak some of that music out first to see. Okay, that's gonna be our next single.
What works? Yeah, you guys are you guys are in a place where it's comfortable. You're, you know, the swap meet, like people are around. Like here's the way to test everything.
And I'm doing that right now with Mr. D. We leaked out a song on TikTok. It got 1.4 million views, and we said that's our next single.
Yeah. Well, that's smart. Yeah.
The audience is telling us what they want next.
Yeah.
So we said we're gonna give it to them.
For sure.
So what happened was, as far as the mixtapes, I started taking over. They started rapping them, whether it be Q, whether it be Easy, whether it be those. Now, keep in mind, people always ask me, how was it working with those guys? They weren't who they are today.
Yeah, these are homies around.
You're right.
And they're around the neighborhood, but like he said, like, I don't know, I already see everything as a vision. Like if I was there, like just you saying the story, it's almost like if you went to the barbershop, like certain people are just always there.
Right.
Yeah, and these are the people that were trying to see what's up with the music. Like,
right.
I
didn't know. I mean, and I knew they were dope, but I didn't know they were going to do what they did.
Yeah.
You know, so I always tell people that I didn't know. So eventually, little by little, I started going to the studio, Audio Treatments in the city of Torrance. And I started seeing them work, but I saw a lot of the same elements that they put in those mixtapes. They started doing it in the studio. Okay. Then my wheels started spinning.
Yeah.
So when they took off on tour, Steve tells me, he goes, hey, man, we need another rapper. You know, I said, well, fuck, man. I got one guy. His name's Double D. Much love to my boy, Doc Nasty. And he was like, no, you know what? He can rap, but I'm not really feeling his voice. Steve was looking for a certain type of style.
So Steve also had...
an ear.
An ear.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
And like he said, this is an Asian man. Yeah. Like surrounded by the beginnings of hip hop. That was another one that like really was throwing me, because I'm like,
yes.
All right, so you know he provided this and this, but not just that. He was also saying yes and no to talent.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Please remind me about what I was just about to get into as far as Steve having an ear. There was a guy that kept coming. He shared this with me. Kept coming to the Roadium and literally kept telling Steve, let me get on your mixtapes. Steve, let me get on your mixtapes. And he said, nah, man. And he goes, I finally had to tell him, I'm Dr. Dre's brother. He goes, but you're not Dr. Dre. And that was Warren G.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he was trying to get on those mixtapes.
But he eventually did?
No.
Never.
He never let him on. He never let him on.
But Warren G actually went on to your documentary and showed love.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yes. And we actually had that story, but afterwards he was like, don't share that, man. I feel embarrassed. So we respected that.
Yeah.
You know, so we didn't put that in there. But now, where was I at as far as
you were talking about how Steve was looking for another rapper.
Yes. So and then I said, I have another guy, you know, they call him S.A. Rich Rock. He's from a Chicano rap group called Spanish Fly. He heard him and he was like, no, it sounds too young. So and then I said, well, I don't know who to get, bro. That's who I'm going to get. So he said, go ahead and start the mixtape and then I'll find somebody. So I showed up to the swap meet and there was this kid there with like big ass fucking juicy ass jury curl. And he goes, Steve, is Tony here yet? And I look at him like, what the fuck does he want with me?
Yeah.
You know? So then he goes, no, he's not here yet. So I'm leaning up against the records, and I said, who was that? And he goes, oh, that's some kid. They call him High C. He's a blood from Treetop Piru from Compton. And I said, a blood with a C in his name? You know? But back then, you know, you didn't.
Yeah, no, for sure. It should have been High B.
Exactly. By the way, there was a rapper named Low B. So,
oh, shit.
So, he
Low
said,
blood pressure?
Yeah.
I'm
he
dead.
said, you know, he has a cool voice. Sounds a little bit like Easy E. He said, why don't you go talk to him? And he was 16 at the time. And I said, all right, fuck it. So I walked back there and I shake his hand and he was real respectable. And I gave him my number and I said, why don't you just show up to my crib and, you know, maybe you could buzz for me.
Yeah.
I said, all right. So I put out old school records called Ultimate Breaks and Beats. I play him and he's rapping. He had a song called I'm Hard. And I didn't think it was that hard. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next day I called Steve and said, you know, this dude ain't going to cut it. And he said, well, we need to get somebody because we need to hurry and put this mixtape out.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it then. Let's go ahead. So he rapped to a Funky Cold Medina by Tone Loc.
Okay.
Then the next one, he rapped to a house beat because I started doing house mixtapes.
Okay. So what, we're talking,
80s.
It's still 80s?
88.
Okay. Okay. 88.
Late 88. So and then finally, he rapped to a hip hop beat. I think it was Princess of the Posse by Queen Latifah.
Okay.
And I liked him. I go, he sounds good here. Really, what I didn't know because I wasn't a producer, I was looking for his tempo, for his sounds. He didn't sound good rapping to some electro shit from Funky Cold Medina. He didn't sound good sounding to house. But when shit was slower, he sounded good.
Yeah.
So this is where the birth of me and High C started. He comes over to rap on our next mixtape, which is 89 now. And I have two records. The compilation was called Aslan Oldies. And they had a song called I'm Your Puppet.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm going back and forth because I have two of them. And he's just, and she clucked it. You know, that type of shit.
Yeah.
You know, and I fucked her. So High C walks in. My mom lets him in. And Steve hears it. Being a guy who specializes in soul music, you know, oldies. You know, if he was still alive, let me tell you something. There's a lot of people out there that collect oldies. I bet the house, you know, that Steve would know more about you than you know about your music. Because
for sure.
Japanese band from the city of Whittier, who to me was more Mexican than he actually was Japanese.
For sure.
So he goes, we need to do something like that. And I said something like, well, he goes, an original song for a mixtape. Yeah. And I said, well, I don't know how to produce. So he said, well, I don't know. Let's how we did this time. Now we're no longer working on a 4-track. Yeah. We got an 8-track, but it's a reel-to-reel 8-track. So it's a tape. And he goes, why don't you just put an instrumental and maybe just ride the record over the instrumental? You know, let's just say you put cat that was Impeach the President. For those that want to know, that's the Honey Dripper. So look that up. And he goes, we'll just play that over and over, but the instrumental of that song wasn't long enough. And I wasn't going to go back and forth on the turntables. So the mixer the new mixer, Newmark, had a loop.
Yep.
So I just looped one bar. One bar, for you guys don't know, is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it repeats. We played that like for about 4 minutes. Then I just rolled the fucking record over and over and over. So High C rapped to it. He wrote it. He got the fuck out of there. The next time Steve came over there, I did the scratching.
Yeah.
High C hadn't even heard it. So he went to the Swapmeet and heard it, and he loved it.
Yeah.
And that fucking song sold like hotcakes.
Yeah. For sure.
Like just on the streets. Like
for sure.
It became like my neighborhood anthem. That's when I started seeing, believe it or not, hate kick up a notch. But at the same time, people that I didn't know showed me mad love.
Okay, so like hate in what way? Like your culture, or you know what?
Of course,
because you're putting a black person on before a Mexicano.
That's exactly what that was.
Really?
But a little bit of everything. You think you're the shit now, huh? Now you're fucking with the blacks, huh? And I was like, fuck, I'm just doing what I love.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
So
you're still figuring it out. Like it's not even like you've been doing this shit and you're learning as you go. And then Steve, who doesn't even know how to do that shit, is a fucking problem solver engineer.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. So that record sold so much that well, should I say that record, that mixtape? He told me, let's do another one. And I said, okay, what do you want to do? And he goes, let's do another oldie. And I was like, I don't want to do that shit. I said, I'm not even a producer. He said, man, what other oldies do you have? So I just flipped the fucking record overs. And I said, I got Sit in the Park. And High C said, okay, I'll do that one. It was a compilation.
Yeah.
So we did I just sampled the fucking bottom beat on the mixer, rolled that motherfucker. And High C, the first thing he got was, oh, what shall I do? Sitting in the park. And I go, okay, after that, I'll throw in sitting. And Steve was like, yeah man, let's do that. I was like, fuck it. So we did that. A couple of months later, somebody shows up at the Swapmeet, some Jewish man named Stuart Cohen. And he has, my mixtape. And I'm standing by the Swapmeet stand. Steve's inside the stand, and he said, who did this mixtape? We thought there were people coming to bust us for selling bootlegs.
Oh, okay.
So
for sure.
Steve goes, well, why? And he goes, well, I'm looking for the person who made this mixtape.
Steve had a good mask for that, huh?
Yeah.
He's an Asian guy. It wasn't him.
So you know what Steve did? He goes, he did them. And
just like that?
Yeah. And I said, yeah, but he sells them. So I threw him back under the bus.
Oh,
so he goes, look, who is High C? Because I wanted to get High C's name out there. So I named that mixtape with I'm Not Your Puppet, High C.
Yeah, man, because you know what? I was looking through, I knew your first like big collaboration was with High C. Like no doubt about it. So I I'm starting to dig a little for myself just through the internet. And I'm like, man, Tony's name's really missing. Like it's a lot of High C.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I said, well, High C is the guy that sells back there. And he goes, he's here too? And I go, yeah. So I walk him back there. We met him, and he walked back to Steve, and he says, I work for Disney. We just opened up our first record label, and it's called Hollywood Records, and I want to sign these guys.
Oh, shit.
Now, I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm just a fucking DJ. I'm not a fucking producer.
Yeah.
And High C's only wrote 2 songs.
Yeah.
So they said, we want to have a meeting. I said, all right. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. During that time, whatever money Steve was giving me to
make the
mixtapes, I was just slanging to buy more records.
Yeah.
That's all I was doing, and get the new Jordans.
For sure. Okay.
So, and by the way, you could have walked into the Foot Locker and buy any Jordan you fucking wanted.
Yeah, right.
Today you got to fucking order them and steal them or whatever.
It's crazy. People are out there killing each other for Jordans. One time my cousin was like, can you go to the mall and go all these places and get a ticket and like what? And I was like, what the fuck is this, Hunger Games? Like for shoes? Fuck out of here. Anyways, so you were investing while you were making.
Yeah. So and here's how we named the mixtapes. Like for an example, 88 Boom and Bass. One day my dad knocks on the fucking door because I'm blasting those fucking mixtapes. I'm just a teenager.
Yeah.
With a Japanese dude. We're having fun.
Yeah.
And my dad, I would turn up that motherfucking bass.
Yeah.
My dad knocks on that fucking door. Boom, boom, boom. And he said this. Bájale ese boom. He didn't speak English.
Yeah.
Bájale el boom, cabrón. And I was like, okay.
So you named
he goes, o te voy a sacar ese pinche chino. I'm going to take that fucking Japanese dude out of here. So I was like, okay. So I didn't know how to tell him because we were talking in Spanish. He said, He said, well, what did he say? He goes, let's just turn on the bass. And he says, well, what do you mean by el boom. And I said, well, boom, like el bass, the bass.
The bass, yeah.
You know, boom, boom. And he goes, oh, okay.
He liked it.
Yeah, my most famous tape is called 88 Boom and Bass.
I was going to ask you, what was your, what was your best one?
He named it after what my dad said.
After almost kicking his ass out of there.
So
I'm dead.
Another mixtape, for an example, like whatever was going on during that time, that's what we named the mixtapes. For an example, one day I got
it was inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a page that somebody wanted to buy a 20. So I said, okay, shit. I said, let me make a phone call. I said, meet me in my alley. In the same alley as the intro. So I go over there and I give him his little pebble and give him my $20. And he said, what was that? And I said, well, I just sold him a 20. He said, but I got all my money. I got to go recop. And he said, well, what does recop mean? I said, I got to go buy more fucking dope.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, okay. So that was on a Wednesday. I went Sunday. He was already selling the mixtape. And he goes, here you go, because he would always give me a copy of my mixtape. And I looked. It was called Recop. That's what he would name whatever was going on during that time.
Oh, shit.
You know, I did one called Dope Beats. It had Dre, it had Cube in it. And the beat.
So Steve would name them?
He would name them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I seen like it. Okay, you even give a visual for it. Like he gives a visual for it on the documentary, where like it was like those tag labels. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. I saw that. Yeah. Because like even throughout the documentary when the guys are talking about it, and the guy, especially Second to None, man, so funny in person too, hilarious. But they were like, man, this like you guys are calling things mixtapes and they're not even on tapes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was the whole thing about that. And I was like, damn. And you had me thinking about, the tapes, the cassettes.
Right.
And like, just to touch on it just a little bit, I was like, that's crazy the way you're talking about the way you did all that. Like, cause for us, I think I stopped using tapes around probably 6th, 7th grade because the CDs started hitting. And we used to, us who weren't DJs or doing any of that shit or scratching, we were putting tapes in, pressing record on the other side because you had this side and that's out, and then the radio would be on and that song's not even out yet, so the Aquanet set's on, but you don't want to miss it, but you're gonna miss it because you're in school during that time. So you're like, someone press record, and then I found out that every side of a cassette had a B side with just instrumentals. And then we used to do that and then put our Walkman earphones into the mic plug and then rap over the instrumental and like record that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like I'm picturing like a whole like different era of that. But you came from the era of like dissecting every sound possible into the hits that we're still playing today like it came out yesterday.
Yes. And let me tell you guys, those mixtapes were not done in a week. They actually took several weeks because of so much little cutting and scratching that we did.
It has to be.
So
it has to be that perfected for sure. We were happy if we didn't get the commercial, but shit, like
Right. So he would name the tapes. So we from the time that guy Stewart came to the swap meet, I went through a really, really rough time in my life. I would say, if I could just speed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Steve was doing his own thing. I was still doing mixtapes, and I was still DJing little small gigs. But I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my life? I'm slanging. I'm doing mixtapes. I'm 21.
Each mixtape was $20?
No, $200.
$200. Oh, shit.
So
I didn't even know.
I buy 100 double up and then buy me some Jordans.
Yeah.
So what happened was there was a point, and I'm not going to explain how, but for about a week I was homeless.
Okay.
I was homeless.
And we're talking about even after. Is this like after or before?
This is right before my I'm going to explain.
Okay.
I had just finished knocking some dude the fuck out, and I had a cast because my two bones had popped out because I had socked this one dude. And I had a cast with like 5 pins in it. I had a tank top on, some green Ben Davis, and some black Nike Cortez, and my mom kicks me out. So I'm on my own now.
Yeah.
And I learned that at that time, everybody that I used to hang around with, the homies, were
quote unquote,
homies,
Yeah.
And I didn't have anywhere to sleep, so I slept wherever I could. So at the end of that week, somebody that I knew, because we didn't have a house phone because we were broke as fuck.
Yeah.
Came looking for me. Said, hop on the motorcycle. And I said, why? What happened? Because Steve just called me. He's in Florida and he's about to call you at my house. This was my close friend at the time. He would be there when we would do the mixtapes.
Yeah.
Probably about the only one that I could depend on.
Okay.
So I went there and I waited by the phone and I picked it up and I go, what's up, Steve? And he just tells me, hey, man. He goes, I believe it was Saturday. And he goes, I'm flying out and I'll be there Monday morning. Hollywood Records wants to meet with us Monday afternoon. He said, so I'm going to pick you up. So he would go from Whittier to Wilmington to Burbank. Okay. And I said, for what? He goes, they offered us a $140,000 album deal. And I could have just fucking fell back and fainted. Okay.
Damn.
Now keep in mind when that was told to me. That's why it meant the world to me. I didn't have shit.
I get that.
You know? I said, bro, it's been 6 months. He goes, no, they finally contacted him. They want to sign us. So we went into this, this Disney place and Mickey Mouse, fucking Donald Duck everywhere.
Yeah.
Like this is literally where they film movies and they sign movies and they sign deals.
Wow.
So we walk in there and they
From
offered
the
us a
streets
deal.
to that. Yeah.
They said, we're going to go ahead and give you a single deal first, 40,000. And if it sells, at least over 100,000, we're going to give you guys, an album deal.
Yeah.
We went ahead and did it. We did the single audio treatments where Dre and those guys did their album. But when we walked out of that meeting, I told Steve, I don't know how to produce.
Yeah, again.
I don't know how to produce. So here's what he said. I don't care. I'm going to go out and buy you a drum machine.
Oh, shit.
He bought me the SB1200. It cost me a little bit over $2,000. Cost to him. And the manual was like this fucking thick. And I said, bro, I'm not reading that shit, bro.
Sound like me, huh?
I just need somebody to show me how to do it.
Yeah.
And then I'll learn it. I have a photographic memory. I'll remember.
For sure.
So he tells me, okay, I'll just take you to Dre's house. And I'm thinking, fuck. And I'm always Star Trek when I go to Dre's. Mm-hmm. So we went to Paramount. And I brought that up to Yella when I interviewed him because he goes, that was mine in his place.
Yeah.
So we went in there and had no fucking furniture. And I go, what do you want me to set it up at? And he goes, right there on the floor. Fuck. So I'm setting up the mixer to the turntable to the mixer to the drum. And we're both laying on our fucking stomachs and he's showing me how to sample.
Who was showing you?
Dre.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And he goes, this machine has 10 seconds worth of sampling time. So you're going to have to get creative.
Wow.
Okay, now let me just press pause right there.
Yeah.
With that drum machine, he did the Eazy-E album. He did the JJ Fad album, the NWA album, the Above the Law album, the Michelet album.
Wow.
I could just keep going on and on and on. Now, those are all classic records.
Yep.
Okay. My question is today, because technology is so much better, we have so much more. In my opinion, where are those classics today?
We don't have any. We don't have any.
How do we have more, but music was better then with less?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just me. I don't know.
Well, it goes to show you, all the value put inside something. You know what I mean? Like, that's just like anybody. Like, there's plenty of people who grow up super poor and maybe never made it because of the circumstances. But the people who are already privileged are already ahead and it looks fancy and they're on vacations. But they're, the rich is inside, and so the rich comes from the beginning. You know what I mean? You actually were a part of all that shit.
So he told me there's 10 seconds. And I said, well, but this loop is 4 bars. It's more than 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to put it on 45 so it can go faster. Yeah. Sample it to save time. Okay. Stop it. Then slow it down. And I'm like, shit, I just saved 2.1 seconds. So I'm like, shit. Yeah. So I started learning that. Now,
it's funny that your stories, it's funny watching because I feel like I know you or something already, but I'm like, it's funny watching him and this fool, like, he worried about it all. And everyone was like, you got this. Like, everyone just kind of was like, what? Like, no, because you had nothing but problem solvers around you. Yes. You know what I mean? Right. And that's when they really say, like, to surround yourself with that shit. You didn't even know how this was even happening. Right. But you were fucking surrounded by the best.
So I'm learning. I'm taking baby steps. I told Steve, give me about a month and I will master this drum machine. And I did. Yeah. I did. And at that point, I was like on some bragging shit. I was like, can't nobody hang with me. So and then I started hanging around with his cousin Jinx again.
Yeah.
He showed me a little bit more, but he told me, you're going to have to get more sounds. And I said, why? And he said, because the SP12 drum machine came with stock floppy disks. These were floppy disks. They were
the smaller ones.
They had the regular, the cabasas, the shakers, the regular hi-hats, but I wanted something different. I didn't want what everybody else was using. So High C introduced me to DJ Quick.
Okay.
Quick gives me a demo. He plays me Tonight, 8 Ball, which he had sampled, Slipping Into Darkness. It wasn't what's on his record today. Born and Raised in Compton. And I thought this guy was fucking amazing.
Yeah, DJ Quick is.
Yeah, so I said, bro, like, but when are you going to have a studio session again? He goes, well, just come over to my studio. So I went over there and I met his manager at the time, much loved, Gritty Greg. Me and him are still good friends. He was producing Quick was producing Second Ten on AMG. And he had this big old box all full of floppy disks. And every time I kept hearing like a snare, like, gah, gah, I was like, fuck, that motherfucker's hard. A dope ass like shaker, a crash or whatever. And I was like, he goes, so what do you want? And I said, dude, I need like percussion sounds, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. Can you wait after my session? And I said, yeah. And he said, okay. So after his session, I just waited like fucking quiet. And then he picks up his whole fucking box. And he goes, here you go, Tony. He goes, take whatever you want. Just please bring it back. He goes, this is everything I have. He gave me his whole shit. So honestly, I feel he's giving me the fucking holy grail.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. So you know what I did? I had my own drum machine. I duplicated every single one of those motherfucker floppies.
Hell yeah.
And let me tell you something. I still have them all.
Hell yeah.
I still have them all.
Damn. Smart man.
Yeah. I did a show with Ralph M. on my podcast, and I played all of Quick shit. Check this out, bro. And honestly.
Going crazy.
Yes.
I can't imagine.
So that's why a lot of my shit sounds different, because I add a lot of boom bap bottom beats, and I add like some dope ass rock snares, sample shakers, sample crashes, and it gives it a different feel. And then I have some live shit, so it's a different feel altogether.
For sure.
So I just don't get a fucking booty ass snare and crash and hat from Logic.
Yeah.
And then throw on some gold teeth and mumble.
Yeah.
I don't do that. So.
That's, you know what, and that's a big way of talking about like the way you do things compared to like DJ Quick. Like Quick is an instrument man. He takes all the instruments and makes something fucking beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's something I really love and admire about him, which makes me sad too, because even that has been so devalued that like when he put out the Midnight Life, I don't know if you remember that album. That was when I first started B-Roll TV.
Okay, I think, as a matter of fact, that was his last album.
Yes. Yeah. Well, last album, kind of. He did another one with a Problem. It was mostly produced by him, but yes, it was their album. But I was excited. I put them all, like, I had the whole show be based upon DJ Quick. I had the DJ playing nothing but DJ Quick. Right. We had my homie Manny, shout out to Manny. He actually did a whole painting of DJ Quick. I was hyped. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because here's someone that we can't wait to hear. And I was wanted to give him his flower. He's here. Right. You know what I mean? So like give him the flowers for the here. And surprisingly, like just no one really, not about nobody caring about the show, but nobody really cared about the album. Which I thought it was great because he brought all that shit back. Because you can hear all these instruments on it. It was just a beautiful piece, and it was still gangster as fuck. Right. So I was like, what's going on? Like why was this not good? Like DJ Quick hasn't fallen off. Like what is this? Because we still have these big names, but we don't cherish what they make anymore. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you some of us. Why I think, okay? And the reason why I say that's because I was there when this was brought up to him. They were going to sign a multi-million-dollar deal with Sony in 2006 when I was DJing for him and AMG. Okay. But Sony had some things in the contract, which was, we just don't want one album, okay? Let me tell you guys, when you guys are going to sign a major deal, they want content, okay? It's like when you go to Netflix or Hulu or Showtime, they just don't want one documentary. They want, if you can, a docu-series. They want content, okay? Yeah. I found that out after my documentary. So they went to Sony, they offered it, but they told Quick this. We want to sign you guys, but when you turn over this album. We want you to already have albums ready.
Yeah, shit.
So in other words, we're going to put you to work.
Yeah.
Okay? But
the pressure's on.
We're going to give you millions. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you're listening, you know this is true. And if you want to confront me, I'm all good. Just tell me what I said that wasn't true. My thing was this, that they told him, you need to give us this much before we sign over a check. He said, they're not going to dictate what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're putting you're putting pressures on you're forcing stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
like it comes from a creative,
Right.
inspiring place.
Right. So that's pretty much what happened. And they ended up telling AMG something that he didn't like.
Yeah.
You need to lose weight.
Oh, shit.
Because this is now
That's
into
crazy.
a image thing. And we want to sign you guys. Now, keep in mind, they had already started a huge buzz with that song.
That blows my mind, Tony, because I'm a female. And
Right.
I feel like we get that shit a lot, but
Right.
I had no idea that happens with the homies. Wow.
Yeah. So they both, and we celebrated at my boy Gritty Greg's house. We were partying there. And so we thought, I'm DJing for Quick, 2006. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We were about to go to Africa. We were about to go everywhere.
Okay.
And it didn't happen because, amongst other things, but they just didn't want to comply with their contract rules or whatever. So it never happened.
Wow.
So the reason why I say that I bring that up when you said the Midnight Life
Yes.
was because labels were saying you take too long to put out records. Like there's years in between.
Yeah.
So I think, not what I know, that people were probably just not waiting anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Dang.
it would be, say, I don't know.
I guess some of us, some of us are still have that old school mentality
Yes.
that we'll wait,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, shit, we're not waiting for Dr. Dre no more, but we're still,
Right.
we will if he says something, we're gonna wait for that shit, know.
Okay, see, like for an example, he was supposed to come out with a record called The Detox.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Since when? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah. And we waited faithfully. Now it's like it's a fucking fart in the wind.
For sure. And then everyone Compton was really good, but it was over in 2 weeks. It was over.
It was over. Mm-hmm. And I think to a certain extent, some people are probably just tired of waiting. Like, fuck it.
Well, because of everything that's moving so quickly now. You know what I mean? Like, think about all those things from what you just talked about and how it started and how much time it took. And, that's why you were willing to wait for it.
Yes.
But people that could just press a button and do this and do that and, it's all set up for you and all you got to do is this. And you can actually rap from where you're at and send it over. And
I hate that shit.
it's so quick.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
It's so quick.
Because, okay, say you're a rapper and you say, Tony, I want you to do some music for me. Say I'm willing to work with you.
Yeah.
My thing is this: you're gonna come in the studio with me. I'm gonna play some beats because I'm gonna make beats tailor made just for you. I'm not gonna email you shit.
Tailor made.
I'm not gonna email you anything.
Yeah.
We're gonna work. You like that? Cool. How do you like that kick? Well, kicks. No, I'm gonna play you several. Tell me what you think works best with this.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna be like, okay, I know what you mean now. I like that one.
Yeah.
You like the snare? You like a cat, or you like more like a? Okay, cool. I get it. Now we're building a beat together.
Yeah.
Okay, you like that tempo? I like the tempo. Okay, I'm gonna write down. You're usually good at between 82 beats per minute and 92 beats per minute.
The whole detail,
Everything.
the whole that's tailored made.
But you know what happens today? We got I got my laptop picked. I got 30 beats. Pick one
already. Yeah, they're hiding in the dungeon, just waiting for the right rapper
to be discovered.
Yeah, but then again, I go back to the story with High C. How you didn't even think High C was good, but then it took a certain type of beat and this and that. People don't even. That's not even a process right now.
Okay, and Dre taught me this, and this is how I saw High C. And I love the dude. We still talk, and he'll be back on my podcast for December 11th. It'll be 30 years that our record came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 30 years.
I want to go. Can I go?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I met him one time at a K-Day.
Thank God that I'm still alive, honestly.
Yeah. Oh,
If
amen.
I survived the crack and the gang epidemic, I could survive the coke epidemic. So.
That's right. Just stay away.
Yeah. So what happened was this, that I fucking lost my train of thought.
Okay, well, we were getting. That's okay. You did talk about this tequila though. Why is it your favorite? It's just goes down smooth.
Okay. You know what's funny? Okay, I not told B on our interview. I got it from his place.
From E-Zone.
Yeah. So E-Zone was interviewed me the first time I was there, and then I didn't want to drink, and then finally they were serving us micheladas.
Okay.
So then I just said, "You guys have any shots?" And some girl goes, "Oh, we just have this," and I like the fucking bottle.
Yeah,
it reminds
bottle's
me
pretty
of some,
hard.
like Dia de los Muertos type of shit.
For sure.
So I said, "Fuck it, I'll take a shot."
And the rooster.
And ever since then,
It's been it.
it's been it. It's cheap and it's good, and I like it.
I feel like kind of.
So
I need a cup. I
so-
gotta taste it.
So yeah. So you know what? And but I forgot what the fuck was I talking about before?
Well, we went from DJ Quick, and you were supposed to go in 2006, and
Yeah, but I was saying something about high.
The 30-year anniversary.
Okay, 30-year anniversary. Yeah, on the podcast, but it was right before that. So please forgive me here.
no, don't trip, don't even trip. But you are gonna link up with High C again for your podcast.
Yes. Me and him always have a fucking ball. Like,
Well, wait a minute. You know what? Right now that we're talking about it, because I'm still thinking of the fucking Scanless merch. Thank you, sir. I'm still thinking of the Scanless merch, man. I fucking need something. Like, you want me to bring that shit back or something? I fucking love it. Like,
Okay.
I went to Tony's, and then and I was peeping all his. You know, he has pictures. I mean, oh God, you guys wish. I'm gonna act like a hard ass right now and be like, yeah, you guys ain't even been to fucking Tony's. This shit is iconic. He has so many pictures of history, like in the music biz, and like real shit. None of this fucking I met this person like fucking at the mall or like this and that. No, this is legit, like in the studio, on the streets, like. You could just tell these fools were having like they were young and just working, having fun. It's iconic for me. Like I was tripped out, and I felt super disrespectful because I was like, I didn't even know where I was really going. Like you reached out to me, and I'm like, cool, I'm down. Like another Latino who does podcasting, and then to go in there and find out so much, I was like even more honored and thrilled.
right.
But some of the gear, some of that old school 90s gear, like the Scanless hats, bring this shit back. I know a bunch of Scanless people to put them on.
You know what's funny? The same way I reached out to you is the same way I reached out to a lot of other people. I won't name them because they know who they are. And I said, hey, I would like to interview. And they're just like, what the fuck? Are you serious? And I was like, yeah, bro. You're starting up a clothing line. I want to help you.
Oh, I love that.
You know?
Yeah, no, you helped me a bitch load, like for real. Like you came with a lot of people, like I said, that like actually followed me and kept up with me, and just just the engagement. Like I love that shit. I love that shit.
You got Odessa, Texas fans.
That's fucking amazing. That's awesome. I love that shit. Cheers. I'm gonna try your tequila real quick. Ooh. It's nice.
I like it.
It's nice. I didn't need a lime or
exactly
any of that shit. It almost felt like there was some in there.
It is a little.
How much was this?
Honestly, it's like maybe some places sell it for 22, 25. I go to Bevmo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go to the Bevmo by my crib. Mm-hmm. They have it like for $19 and some change.
Well, we're gonna. You know what? I'm gonna have to figure out.
Yeah.
What's up with them, because they need to fucking sponsor you, bro.
You know what? We've been trying to reach out to those motherfuckers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I'll start pushing too. We'll all be pushing it.
Yes. There was a IPA beer company out of San Diego that wanted to sponsor me. And I was like, fuck yeah. And I tasted their beer, and it was pretty good. But fucking COVID hit, and then they said, oh, we're done. Yeah. I had a mic company, company called Blue. Uh-huh. And they wanted to, when I had a meeting with them, they wanted to sponsor like everything. COVID hit, they shut everything down.
Yeah, everything went wild during COVID.
COVID was like the biggest fucking cock blocker.
It's weird because it was like the cock blocker, but it was also like one of the best things that could have happened to a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a blessing in disguise. Yeah.
You know, I fucking learned so much shit, like even like money management. I was like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yes, I mean, because that's the first time that the whole world was closed.
Yeah, you couldn't spend money if you wanted to.
So you know what it forced us to do? To get creative.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
It forced us to get creative. So you know what I said? Fuck it, let's go. We still got internet. Let's roll.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Okay, it's funny you said that, because a lot of those people doing the fake button pressing and the fake this and that and the fake personalities and the fake shit, they all fell off during COVID. Just know that the big old names with the big old names in back of them, and being a DJ for how long, and they had artists, and they only know celebrities. Y'all had to bring it back down to us. What's up?
You know what's funny?
They're acting really nice during that time.
Yeah, you know what's funny? A lot of these DJs, I don't play for free, homie. Straight up, I don't play for free. $1,000 on up. COVID hit, live on Facebook. What y'all want to hear? What y'all want to hear? Nah, you don't fucking play for free, homeboy.
You're fucking right, dude. That was the real shit. People were having a midlife crisis. Like, what? I'm gonna have to get a real job. I'm gonna have to actually work a 9 to 5. Like, oh, freaking the fuck out.
You know what was the funniest thing of COVID, if there's such thing? Much love, my condolences to people that lost loved ones. But I will say the funniest thing, if we could find humor in that, was the toilet paper thing.
Yo, I even fucking made fun of it. I have it like my birthday. Like I made a video just dancing in my living room, and I made a chair out of all the toilet paper that my cousin and his girl bought. I just was like, dang, like you could almost have like a whole king chair full of this shit.
Yes.
I had to.
What I was doing, I was telling people, you know, the first caller that calls in gets one roll of toilet paper.
Damn, I'm so pissed I didn't use that shit.
Yeah, that was dope.
Man, I would have been like, you guys tune in, everyone gets a toilet paper roll. Like, fuck.
Or if you go to a strip club, you don't give them money, you give them 2-3 sheets of toilet paper.
That's how bad it was. Yeah. I mean, I worked at the market, so I know everything was. I walked into work one day because I had came back from I cut myself, and when I came back to work, I was like, what the fuck happened here? I was just like, did we not get like an order or what happened? They're like, dude, before you left and all this shit happened, everyone swiped everything the fuck out. Like people, you didn't eat beans, you started eating beans.
You started eating beans.
For sure.
Of course. Yeah,
you're like, canned beans, gross. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, we need canned beans.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are good.
So it's going down, you know? Like,
rice. Yeah, but you know,
you gotta be real Mexican during COVID.
Yes. You know what was fucked up though about that shit is that like people that didn't talk to me at all of a sudden started calling me, hey, big dog, what's up? Hey, you wouldn't happen to have any extra toilet paper? What the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
I haven't heard from you in years.
Yes. And you calling me for a roll of toilet paper. Yeah, no, I'm serious, bro. I had to wipe my ass, with a napkin, and it was rough. And yeah, bro, come through. So,
dang, it was wild out here. Yeah. Toilet paper, wipies.
I had friends and family that worked at Costco, so we had the hookup.
Oh yeah, me too. We get the order in the morning.
Yeah,
but that shit was gone. By the
went back to eating spread. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
fucking a top ramen with chicharrones and hot Cheetos and whatever.
I was eating that shit anyway.
But anyways, now I still can't remember what the fuck it was that I was about to tell you about High C.
No, I don't know. I don't know where we were going with it. But let's go from 2006 because you took your break. But when did you start taking that break?
2002. I just said fuck the music. Okay, 1996.
Really, 2002?
Yeah, but let me back up just a little bit.
Yeah.
People always ask this, so I want to reveal this here.
Yeah.
Because when I took that 15-year layoff, and I came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden my podcast started doing good, and I'm thankful for my fans and my subscribers. But you always have a small element. Where in the fuck did this motherfucker come from? Okay, cool, whatever. I had histories dating back to 1987, which I don't like to brag about. When I did this documentary, I shared this with my son. And I said, Mijo, he asked me, what are you doing this for? He said, to honor Steve, to keep his name alive. And here's what he said, what about your name? My son woke me up. I could have took all these stories to the fucking grave. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's podcasts like this that give me the platform to allow me to be transparent.
For sure. Okay, so like I said about what the podcast was supposed to be and what it is.
Yeah.
These are my stories, and when I leave, I leave. So this is, to me, like, I'm glad I can bring this to the table, for sure.
So anyway, so what happened was back in 1996, I started working with a bunch of Chicano rappers when music was not called Chicano rap.
Okay.
Okay.
96.
If you go back to 1990 when Kid Frost came out with La Raza, he was on the radio, he had a major record deal.
Yes.
Okay. Lighter Shade of Brown, Sunday Afternoon had a major record deal. Proper Dose was signed. They had a song called Mexican Power. Everybody was on the radio. Okay.
Yeah.
1996, Brownside came out. They were on the radio. They were signed to Ruthless. Okay. I thought Raza's on the rise. Okay. So in 1996, I started working with Frost, Slow Pain, Nino Brown, AOT, Little Rob, JB, any Chicano rapper
that was popping.
I was working with. Okay. So in 2002, I was tired of the industry. I truly, truly was. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done. I called up one of my friends. I got a job. Okay. I started working for Rouse in the city of Compton. For those of you that live in that area, it's off the 91 and Wilmington Avenue. Okay. And that's where I worked for 15 years. So I was working there, picking up trash, making $30 an hour. Okay. And I was fine. You know why I was fine? Nobody had recognized me.
Yeah.
Okay. About 5 years later, there was one fucking dude. Hey, you look like a guy named Tony. Hey. And I was like, oh, for reals? I get that a lot. Keep in mind, my record came out in 1991, the same year that Quick, Second to None, AMG.
Yeah.
We came out all together, same year.
Yeah, but if you kicked it at the Roadium, people probably knew you were because you were always in that spot, and that's where they heard their music.
That's in the city of Gardena, and he was from the city of Gardena.
Yeah.
So he could tell me, you look familiar. I'm like, bro, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is every year, like it's almost seemed like he wouldn't let up.
Yeah.
So he finally came with the cassette, and he goes, so you're gonna tell me this is not you? And I was like, because my badge said Antonio Alvarez or Antonio Roberto Alvarez. So then I was like,
I'm dying because I worked in a market. This is funny.
Like, okay, bro. Yeah, that's fucking.
Yeah.
He goes, oh my God. He goes, that's you.
That's funny.
And before you know it, it fucking spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
I'm walking down the aisles and it's 30 degrees. It's fucking cold. I'm fucking picking up trash with a dumpster with an electric pallet jack. And you got guys, check this out, homie. I'm about to buzz.
Yeah. Trying to get played.
Yes.
You're lucky I didn't work with you. I would have been on the speaker like, hey, Tony, Tony.
I was like, motherfucker, you never talked to me for 5 years and now you're rapping to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
that's wild.
When Quick reached out to me, I want you to come DJ for us. And I said, okay. Whenever are we performing locally? We're going to be at the House of Blues and we're going to do this. We're going to give me tickets. I gave them to the guys at work.
Oh, nice.
Here you go, homie. Here you go, homie. And they all went and saw me. But guess what? The next day, they fucking saw me at work.
Yep.
In my gear. And they were like, fuck, I can't believe you're here. Bro, it's back to reality, homie.
Okay, so this is where me and you really we really match up here. So, I've interviewed like some pretty big people, but I always worked in a market. Like I worked at Trader Joe's. Like it was my deal I made with God before I stopped selling drugs. It was like, okay, you got the car. I said, let me just do this. Let me get to this spot because I'm dying here, and I need it for the good. But once I do, I promise I'll get a real job and I'll be good, whatever. But it happened to be the time where I also ended up at B-Roll TV. Right. So started making a name for myself, but I also worked at Trader Joe's. So it was like, okay, but I'm like, I'm in Pasadena. It's fucking white people. They're not going to fucking know, But later on, it started to weigh on me as I was starting to interview bigger people. So I was in that place of like interviewing Ice Cube and then having to wake up super early the next morning and fucking clean a toilet by 8 a.m. or something.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me super early for you.
I would have to wake up I lived really close by work. So thankfully I could wake up at 4, get to work by like a little bit before 5 to clock in before 5. I also used to work 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. So I know all the...
Yes.
I've done all the fucking...
Believe me, we've all worked there. And I'm saying that for the people, like, it wasn't like, life was a bed of roses, okay?
Fuck no. Especially like a market, people don't know, like that shit's wear and tear.
Yes. this warehouse was 24 hours, okay?
Yeah.
So I'd wake up at 2:15 and clock in at 3 o'clock.
Yep.
But be out of work at 11:30, which I loved, and I was at the gym at 12 o'clock.
Nice.
And I'd be like, bam, 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 bam. Go home, shower, take a fucking nap, wake up around maybe 4 o'clock, and then go to sleep probably close to 12, and then wake up about 2:15.
Yeah, it's crazy, especially if you're doing. Okay, so I had a mix of doing that life though,
Right.
and also doing my other shit. You know, so I would have to separate. I almost would love when I didn't have a show,
Right.
Because then I could enjoy the day or sleep. But if I went to both, then it was fuck. I was like, I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna do it because. And I always felt good actually because real jobs will just humble the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
To let you know that, like, hey, you're not where you're supposed to be yet, and you still have to work, and that's how you survive. I wasn't like I said, the privilege will have the, you know what I mean, like. That's why I don't really compare myself to anybody else doing this job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all have different stories in our background.
Yes.
And each of us will stand out for whatever fucking reason. But I know what I've done in my background. So I'm like, well, when that story gets out, it'll mean more. Compared to the privileged controller that already has the sync button.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. You know, and the reason why we're sharing these stories to you guys is because, you know what, I don't want anybody to think, oh, these guys had the easy road. They met the right people. No, we still had struggles.
Yeah.
But I got a job because, honestly, I wanted to. But I was just tired of the business side of music. I truly, truly was.
Yeah.
For an example, let me give you an example of what I mean. Say that you're a rapper and you say, hey, Tony, I want you to produce my record. Okay. How many songs you want? I want 12 songs. Okay, I want 20K. I can't afford that. I'll give you 15. Okay, here's what we do. Give me half right now. Mm-hmm. Give me the rest when I'm done. 12 songs. Okay, cool. So they give me $750. Okay, whatever. Well, that's 12. About 6. So I was like, okay, cool. The album's done, and then all of a sudden it's at the Swapmeet, it's in stores and it's in everything. And like, hey, bro, where's my fucking money? What, I'm not good for it, homie? No, bro. Like we fucking had a deal.
Yeah, there's a deal.
Well, give me a couple of months. No, bro.
Yeah.
It's already on fucking sale.
Yeah, that shit's it started getting shady.
Yeah.
Like shady.
So that's when I said, I'm fucking done.
Yeah, because it's kind of hit and miss now, and you can't depend on it.
Right.
It's not even being respected the same.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you came to my crib begging me, and now all of a sudden it's like, give me a couple of months, homie. What, I'm no good for it?
Yeah.
You didn't sound like that when you were ass kissing.
Yeah.
So you know what I said? I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
Cool, whatever. So when I got a fucking job, started working, had a fucking great ass fucking time. So during that whole year, 2006 of DJing, I was breaking everybody off at my job with tickets, cool, whatever. It was 2006, New Year's night, going into 2007. My worst show ever. Worst show ever. I'm a perfectionist. Okay? The instant replay machine that we would use on stage looks a lot like this. Okay. Except, you see all these pads?
Yeah.
They're all across.
Okay.
And I labeled every single one of them, track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, because I was DJing for Quick, Second to None, AMG. Many songs. So I had to name the songs. We'll go track 1, track 2, track 3, track, that's just the way I did it. So I had even a list, and I never write anything down. Everything's off of memory. But that night, it's got to be a special show. We sold out in hours. This was a place on Pine Street in Long Beach called The Vault. Used to be a bank.
Yeah.
This motherfucker holds hundreds. So Quick was the headliner. I made a list, and I told him, bro, we're ready. I said, okay, cool. Tony, hey, let's hold hands, and let's say a prayer. Okay, so we busted a prayer. Everybody left the room. Security comes. Hey, you guys got 5 minutes. I said, okay. Quick goes, hey, let me see the list. I gave him the list. He tore it up, and he goes, we're just going to freestyle it tonight. And I said, no, bro, we've been practicing for a month for this New Year's show. And he goes, no, we're just going to, I go, bro, I don't even know what song I'm going to play first then.
Yeah.
Just go out there. So I go up on stage, 2 turntables, a mixer, my instant replay machine. And I don't even know what to even play, what song to play
Fuck.
first. So I see Second to None AMG on the side of the stage. And I go, like, bro, what do you want me to play? He goes, whatever's on the list. I go, quick, throw that list away. What the fuck? So the security tells me, start.
Yeah.
So I'm like, All right, cool. So I just start freestyling shit. Quick tells me like this from the side of the stage, and I'm like,
Oh God.
dude, it was a fucking nightmare.
That's a shit show.
Yeah, it was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that fucking night, he doesn't want to fucking pay me. Oh, you fucked up.
Oh God.
I had a.
This is where like almost where disrespecting the DJ came in.
So
Shit.
So I didn't want to. I don't want to say a lie, but let's just say it in well. But he paid me.
Okay.
So when I went home, I said,
Tony, I don't even know.
Yeah. So I just said, you know what?
The homie took care of it, okay?
Yeah, he took care of it.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm done. So I never did no more shows. So from 2007 to 2017, 10 years later, I get a phone call. Hey, Steve Yano passed away. What the fuck? Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? I just talked to him last month, bro. He passed away. So I called up Susan, his wife.
Yeah.
Steve still had the same house number from the 80s. I still know it, but I'm not going to say it because he still has it.
Wow.
And so I called her, and I guess she must have had me on caller ID because she picked up, and she said, Tony is true. And I was like, no, please tell me Tony is true. So we talked, and then she said, do you want to say anything at the funeral? And I was like, yeah, of course I want to speak. So I would have thought Dre and other people would have showed up. He had over 800 people there at his funeral. Not that that means anything to me, but if there was one person that I wanted there, I would have wanted Dre there.
For sure.
Okay. But he didn't show up, but he sent flowers and all this shit, condolences. Cool, whatever. Said it was busy. Here's my thing. And if you're listening to this, or if you ever listen, or if anybody forwards this to you, I'm saying it, homie, that you're never too busy to bury a friend.
Oh.
Okay? You're never too busy to bury a friend. And if you're one of those dudes that comes up with an excuse, you care more about money than fucking friendship.
For sure.
So
respect.
Yeah.
Respect that. I respect that. You know how many people would never call, and this is like a problem. Like you'll call out whoever, but you won't call out big names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like it's not even to call you out to disrespect you. It's to call it what the problem is out. You know what I mean? Like that was fucking deep. Like you're never too busy to bury a friend. I'm gonna take that with me for real.
And I said that on Road and Raid. I said that other podcasts, and I've called them out on it. Not that I'm trying to start shit, but you know what, bro? You should have been there.
Yeah, you're keeping it real. You were there. Yeah. You know what's up, and you know the closeness. You know how helpful that was. Yeah. You know, which is why I really love the documentary, because more than finding out who was behind it and finding out that it was an Asian man behind all the culture, you know, he was helping the community.
Yeah.
Like those people benefited off of the help from a swap meet. Like it doesn't sound like Steve needed anything crazy back.
Right.
He was just keeping his business together, and it sounds like he wanted a foot inside because he almost like just loved it.
Yes.
Man, and that's respect.
Yeah.
That's a lot of respect.
You know, so 2017, the year before, let's back up to 2016, I went to a Q&A session here at the, right next to the Staples Center. I think it's called, it's a museum.
Okay.
I forgot what it's called, but it'll come to me.
Okay.
But they were having a Q&A session with all the godfathers, godmothers, and uncles and aunts of West Coast hip hop.
Okay.
There was about 20 people there on the panel. So I'm there and I'm listening, and everybody is sharing what they contributed to West Coast hip hop.
Okay.
Every one of them did. I don't take that away from them.
And there's like big people there?
Yes.
Everyone. Okay. Of the West Coast.
Yes. So I'm there, and I'm probably the only white guy there. Okay.
White guy?
Yeah. Well, I was in dark. So yeah. The only Mexican guy there. So after the guy that was hosting, he said, is there anybody here that you guys believe, now he's asking the panel, that should have been here or should have been mentioned that's not here? They were like, no. Mm-hmm. That's when I got pissed off.
Yeah.
And then, so they dismissed, and I went up to every single one of them, and I go, hey, what's up, bro? He go, what's up, man? Do you remember me? No. Tony A, that was that kid in the 80s where you used to go to Steve's stand, and you used to pretty much ask him, can you sell my records on consignment? Mm-hmm. And hopefully, you know.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, shit, yeah, I remember. When They asked, is there anybody that should have been mentioned? You didn't mention Steve. He goes, no, you're right. He should have been mentioned. I went down the fucking line.
Yeah.
And all of them said, yeah, he should have been mentioned. At that moment, I said, I'm going to film a documentary. Keep in mind, I didn't have a fucking budget. I didn't have a fucking camera.
Yeah.
I'm going to film a documentary. I'm going to be calling you. Can I take down your number?
For
yeah,
sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, Tony, no problem. Guess what? When I found my camera guy, I called all those guys. They
Back.
came through.
Yeah. Once you knew and you had it in your head, you were like, oh no, this needs to be mentioned.
Yes.
This is ridiculous.
Because look,
it's almost offensive.
We know that hip hop is a black industry.
Correct.
I get it, and I pay homage and respect to that. But there were certain people that played certain roles that helped create what we know West Coast hip hop, and the Roadium is just a cornerstone to West Coast hip hop.
Yeah.
It was a big cornerstone. Okay, here's what I challenge. And this is what my son shared with me and taught me. He said, what other Mexican in the world can say that they have a collection of mixtapes with NWA? No, not one person.
No.
I'll tell you what, I'll wait. Honestly.
If you wait around, you're going to be looking like that guy on the tequila bottle.
Exactly.
It's you.
My son shared that with me. He goes, that is nobody else. And honestly, I had to go like,
shit.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You weren't even, you weren't thinking of yourself.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. And by my parents, I was always raised to be a humble and modest person. So I've never been one to, to ride my own dick. I did. And I know a bunch of fucking lame ass motherfuckers that do that shit.
For sure.
And I hate that,
All day.
It's because of me. It's because motherfucker, let the fans say that about you.
For sure.
Stop saying that about yourself.
For sure. But they never mentioned where the foundation starts.
Right.
Ever.
Right. I even mentioned the guys that used to give me rides to the Roadium. And that's my boy Angel Montes.
But that comes from from definitely a different line of respect. You know what I mean? Like even like right now that you said that, that your parents like put that into you. Mm-hmm. Not everybody's parents did or weren't there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they weren't raised like that, so they don't have the pure heart, the respect, you know what I mean? Like you said, even to show up on time, respect for yourself, sending flowers over, like showing up.
Right.
There's something missing in your life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that goes to say about you personally.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you personally, you could sense it from the moment I met you. The moment you reached out to me, and then like meeting you, your stature, like everything. Like you have a very respectful stature, and I'm honestly very inspired by you, Tony. For real. I feel extra inspired by you, knowing your story. And what I try to bring to the podcast table, like I tried to bring to the podcast table what I don't want people to forget.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to forget about this guy either.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got some soldiers under you who are ready to put it out there that like stop saying fucking mixtape. You guys don't even, if you own a mixtape, do you even own a mixtape? Like you know what I mean? Like this is a legit real mixtape. Right. You're the man who has them all, and that's to Steve Yano.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right. And that's the reason why you put your documentary together. And I really want people to go check this out. Let them know where to find it.
Yeah. Go to YouTube and type in Tony Vision. I don't spell it any other way, just Tony Vision, and it'll pop up. And if you go to my main page, it's just on there. And what you saw was the 1 hour film festival version. If you want to watch the full version, you go to documixery.com, because I don't call it a documentary. I call it a documixery because
Love that.
It's a mixtape.
Hell yeah.
Documixery.com.
That shit's tight.
Yes. And there you can watch the 3 hour version.
Oh, okay, cool.
Now let me say this. When I was done with that, it took us a year to film, and it took us about a year to edit, because like a mixtape, it takes time.
100. And you said you're a perfectionist.
Yes. For an example, say we have a scene. I want us to make this look like an 80s scene. There's something called an overlay that we put over the film. Yeah. It makes it look old. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, we have transitions. Do you want it to slide out? Do you want it to
fade
go
out?
up?
Yeah.
Fade out, dissolve. Mm-hmm. All of that is me. Yes. So I sat next to my editor. I want this. I want this. Sometimes we would do 6 hours worth of work, and we only did 15 minutes of editing.
For sure.
But everything was just fucking perfect.
I love that.
So here's my thing. When I shopped it to Netflix, when I shopped it to Hulu, I sat down with all of these people in person. Here's the problem and why I encourage Raza to not just be rappers, not just be we need people in Netflix, we need people in Showtime, we need people in HBO. I'm gonna tell you why. So when we present our stuff, our projects, we have Raza already in there that can relate to us and say, okay, this will work.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah. 100%.
Now, everybody that I met, if I had 10 interviews, again, with the Hulus, the Amazons or whatever, all of the people that I met were in their late 20s or early 30s, and all of them were born and raised outside of California. They didn't understand this culture.
Yeah.
For Netflix, and I'm not picking on anyone. I'm not.
No, you're being. This is
from
facts.
India,
yeah, no, see, this
and
is
she
facts.
said, I don't get it. Of course you don't fucking get it. You weren't born here. You know? And she said
facts.
this. She said, why don't we call it the Roadium where hip hop began? it didn't be.
First of all, the accent's on point, Tony.
Thank you.
You're a fucking actor too.
Then we go to Amazon, okay? And this lady tells me like this. Yo, check this out. I'll sign this, but it's got to be executive producer by. This lady wanted her name on there. What?
Yeah. Well, she's smart, but also fucked up.
I was like, no. We had a meeting with HBO, and they are the ones that taught me how to make documents. She goes, look, you got a 3-hour document. You got more footage? And I go, yeah. It was actually 4 hours, but we condensed it to 3 hours.
Yeah.
He goes, why don't you give me 4? Episode 1, 2, 3, 4. We can sell this as a docuseries. I said, okay. Are you interested? She goes, yeah. Here was the problem. We were already streaming it on our website.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And she said, no, I can't do that. People have already seen it. I can't. It's got to be exclusive to us. That's where we fucked up. So I just gave you guys a nugget on the Chicano rap documentary that I'm doing now. Okay. Because people say you cannot possibly do everybody in 1 hour. And nobody said I was just doing one.
Yeah, very cool.
I know
I'm
that
glad.
They want content.
Yes.
They just don't want one. Always remember that. So everybody out there filming, if you're going to shop to these companies, I'm going to tell you what. It's good to have Netflix on your resume, but I'm going to let you know. Okay? Netflix pays the less. The less.
I bet.
You know why? Because they know that you want to come to them.
They're the biggest.
Yes, they're the biggest. So you know what's
Yep.
Okay, 10 grand. We own it. We're going to re-edit it. We're going to rename it. That's what they wanted to do to our documentary.
Oh, no. It's so good just the fucking way it is.
Here's what they said. You know that they wanted to take Steve out and call it NWA, the birth of mixtapes?
Oh, kill myself. Are you fucking...
Yeah, no. Yeah. So if you're listening, Lady, I wasn't going to go with you. So.
Dang. Okay, well, man, that's a lot. I love...
And I never shared this with anybody.
Yeah, and you know what? I was already like... In fact, I wasn't really going to ask you if you're sending it out there because in hopes that I was like, I hope it catches eye to do that. Of course, there's fucking rules and regulations. Trust, like even YouTube has a million things you can't fucking do. Even for us, like, you know, on Twitch, like we can't just upload this to YouTube right after. It actually has to be after a certain amount of time first. But it was so good that you suggested those things because even like, you know, right now, and if you guys have watched the podcast from the last 2 episodes, you know, all of our history being super fucking hidden. Like, how are we going to ever make documentaries out of that and people definitely not understand that because one, they don't want to go against the Dodgers, or one, we're just not, our history isn't popular enough. Like, it has to be us in those positions to help. So definitely, like, that is a great way to push our Latin community to go on and get those jobs so we can fucking work, so we can be seen.
Say that I work, just hypothetically, at Showtime, okay? And everybody there is, you know, grew up out of state. Because I met people at in Hulu from Philadelphia.
Okay.
And I presented them the scene that made you laugh when I punked that dude for the mixtape.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny.
That he was like this. He goes, I don't get it. That's what he said. And I said, well, what don't you get? He goes, what did you sell? Did you just sell him drugs? And I'm sitting there like,
oh my God, this you were like if you had hair to yank the fuck out. Yeah.
So I asked him. I said, how old are you? If you don't mind, what was that? Bro, I'm just please just bear with me. How old? This was my last meeting.
Yeah.
And I said, how old are you? He goes, I'm 29. I said, do you know rap? He goes, and here's what he said. Of course I know rap. I know Hammer and MC Young.
Oh God.
And I said, no, it's MC Hammer and Young MC. Okay.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay. And I go, I just don't get it. And I said, I gave him a mixtape and he gave me $10. And he said, why don't you reshoot that? And next time, what you do is before you give him the mixtape, this is what he was saying. The guy wearing plaid pants, they were skinny jeans. Okay. He goes, next time, show it to the camera and go like this and then give it to him.
Oh God, it's just getting worse.
I even feel goofy imitating that gay ass voice. So yeah, let me just say that. So,
dude, that.
So I was like, nobody's gonna fucking. Here you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is what I love about you too, Tony. Because like just hearing you say all that, like, these guys are on my team, and I had to like sit them down and tell them like I'm actually. I call it being psychopath. Like, I'm a psychopath. Like, I like things a certain fucking way, and I am going to tell you no, or I am going to be like, nah, that's not the way I want. Even having him be someone who does, like, video, like,
right.
I literally don't want even your advice for certain things, because I have this vision in my head of what I really want.
Yes.
So telling me to do certain, like some things I don't want to take in because I already see it.
Yes.
And I want it that way for a reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? And some people would take it as like, oh, you can't take feedback, or you can't take criticism, or you can't, and it's like, no, it's not that.
It's just the way we're wired.
It's
just the way we're wired.
Amen.
That's it. So,
that's all. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm seeing it right in my face, and I feel fine about myself. Poor guys, but
Okay, let me share with you guys. When we did the documentary, we had no script. We had no script.
I believe that.
Here's what we're gonna do. I knew the questions already. We're gonna sit there. I'm gonna interview these guys. Now, in between the interviews, when we did like some of the mixtape scenes or whatever, it was some run and gun shit.
I believe it. Yeah.
Just film me. Stand right there.
Simple.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get out the car, get my shoes. Okay, stop. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna walk to the guy. Follow me. Then get on this side. Okay, cool. We did that several times, but it fucking came out perfect.
But it came out the exact same way. Well, for me, back in the day, like, that came out the same way like you would sell drugs. Like, you know what I mean? The homie steps out, lets them know you're not alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're punking them. You show me your shit first before you try and hand me bullshit. Like, you did it all. But it was simplified in a way that, like, how could you not understand that?
Right.
But if you are not of the culture, if you are not,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, of course you're not going to get it.
Right.
But fuck, that makes me think some weird shit about Netflix, because there's so many weird things on there that I'm like, you guys accept this, but you don't accept that. Like,
right.
That's odd. Because I feel like this, and I'm just going to fucking say it. If some black person would have came up to you and had this whole hip hop mixtape, blah, 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 you would have left that as is and thought it was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
That's what I really think.
Let's just be real. So let's go back to what you said about the culture. I said, let's just say I work for Showtime. You walk in and you're trying to, I want to present something that was West Coast, California based. This is what started it. This is what I'm presenting to you. We don't like it. We don't this. We don't. And all of a sudden, I'm a Chicano. Hold on. Let me check that out. Show it to me. Fuck. Let's just say it's a documentary about car shows.
Yeah.
I can dig this.
Yeah.
Yo, check this out. Chicanos in California are hip hop's economy. They're gonna bite this shit.
Oh,
they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it.
That's number one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now we have somebody in place to open the door for us.
For sure. And I'm fucking so glad you said just even touching on the whole thing, but like just that I'm gonna dissect it a little bit.
Yeah.
The Chicano culture is the economy for
hip hop economy.
For hip hop economy. That's so real. That's so real. Even in your video, I was really thinking forward on this, okay? Because some black people, they deny us of a lot of things.
Of course.
In the culture. This is theirs. We're just jumping on, which is why they have, you're a Chicano rapper and you're this and that. But we have been so supportive in the hip hop culture, and it's crazy. Like, you'd be lucky, you know what I mean? Especially in Los Angeles, like most of your realest fans who will spend that much money on you are Mexican.
Yeah.
Or of Latin descent. You know what I mean? Like, it's us.
It's us.
We're the fans. For real. So, like, in your video, you have the homie coming out at the swap meet, and he's pop locking, right? And, you know, all the homies are behind him. And then you have another one where the homie, he's a black homie, and he's rapping. He's freestyling. And you see all the Mexican homies on back of him. That's the realest shit I've ever seen. Where like the Mexican guys are nodding their head. They're trying to, like, you know, they're just like, okay, well, cool. Like, they accept it. They think it's dope already. You know what I mean? You won't see that in the black community.
Right.
It'll be us backing you up first.
Today, Bobby D had a huge ass show in NorCal.
Okay. Shout out to Bobby D.
Yeah. Ice Cube was the main event. If you were the headliner. Before him was Cypress Hill.
Okay.
Of course, they had Baby Bash. They had, you know, Frost. They had JJ Fad. They had everybody.
Yes.
Okay. My friend shows me a video. It's all raza.
First, I worked for Bobby D for a whole year, and one thing I talked about with Bretton Wood, I said, you know, I want you to understand this, that like your fan base is us. And he was like, he gave it to us. He was like, it is. It 100% is. You know what I mean? But it's true. All those funk bands and whatnot, like, there is nobody putting those together in the black community. Yeah. Bobby D has done something super fucking special because he puts all those people in the same room. And the fans, straight up, all fucking Mexican.
Well, one day I'm going to put together like a little video clip, okay? Because, and I'm going to quote Rod Neal.
Careful, because I don't want nobody stealing your ideas on this shit. I'll be pissed.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, go back and look at Rod Neal interview. Just Google Rod Neal Roadium Radio. And here's what he said. He said, I'm not going to lie to you, man. He goes, if it wasn't for Mexicans, he said, I'll probably be working at a fucking garbage can. A garbage man picking up your trash cans and fucking dumping them. He said, because the way black people treat me is like, oh, this old fucking nigga. I don't say that word, but I'm quoting him.
Yes.
He goes, oh, that old motherfucking nigga. He goes, he's already done. He goes, but you guys, I never got old.
Yeah.
And it's true. Roger and Zap are not old to us.
Oh, no.
The Barcades are not old to us.
No, we get excited.
Yeah, Gap Band is not old to us. Earth, Wind & Fire is not old to us.
We want to see them.
Yes.
We want to see them.
But to some people, oh, that motherfucker.
And it's crazy, but our culture, we not only pay for it, but we cherish it.
Yes.
We cherish it.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a beautiful thing if you open your eyes and see it. That's why, you know, it's usually the youngsters too that be talking shit and they don't know fucking. They think they know and they don't. They really don't, and they're missing out on so much love.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But for sure, we always have your back. Like, you know what I mean? We always have your back.
Absolutely.
And we're always gonna have your back now, Tony. I hope that really like my audience. I know my audience just fell completely in love with you for sure.
Thank you.
What's next for Tony?
Well, I'm gonna finish up this Chicano rap documentary, which believe me, I'm gonna knock it out the ballpark with this documentary. If you guys like the Roadium Mixtape documentary, you guys are gonna love this Chicano rap documentary. After that, I have one more documentary which I'm not gonna let out what it's based on, but it's gonna be based on a historical studio on all who's been there. From East Coast to West Coast, they've all recorded there, and it was all done at a house.
Nice.
Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say. After that, my goal is to direct a horror movie.
Okay.
I fucking love
I believe you.
I love horror movies, and I want to do a horror movie. And believe me, if you like the shit that I've done, because I directed my boys at Mr. D's video. If you like my type of shit, you wait till you see my horror movie. I'm going to bring back, it's kind of like music. You know, you bring back what worked.
Yes.
What people still liked. You know, see, I don't believe, this is just me. I don't believe that music evolved. I think it was changed on us. Say we have the 90s West Coast shit bang, California love, fucking shit is fucking banging, Dre and Tupac. Here comes the 2000s, and I work at Power 106. Hey, from here on out, we're going to play mumble rap. Wait. For real? But it's just banging. No, we're going to change everything.
Yeah.
We're going to change the culture with this new music.
Yeah.
I believe the music did not evolve. I believe it was changed on us.
It was honestly, keep it real, it was what everybody in the radio people want, which is pop. Mm-hmm. It was popped. It was turned into pop.
And let's be honest.
They don't think that.
Yeah.
Because they made money off of it. And yeah, it was popping. But yeah, look, compared to like the West Coast OGs to like, you know, the new with the R&B in it and like, you know. Yeah.
What I'm about to say, people are going to agree with. Some people may disagree with. Tony, you're just old. Okay, cool. I'm fucking old. I don't give a fuck, bro. But I'm still stating fucking facts. Okay?
That's right.
With music, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have guys wearing tight jeans. You're going to be able to see the veins on their ass. Okay? We're gonna have guys with purses. And we're going to have guys with dresses.
Yeah.
Okay? And then we're going to have guys coming out and saying, I like guys. Mm-hmm. If that's your preference, cool. But I believe with the change in the music, that's what happened.
Yeah, that the people who took control changed it for them.
Yeah.
Not necessarily was about music.
Yeah.
It was just about changing that shit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I gave this example one time. And this is a deep one, so bear with me, okay? If you disagree with me, just DM me and we'll talk about it, okay? Say I want people to take drugs. I want people to drink lean. I want girls half naked. I want to kill people. Just say that. And then I'm talking to myself. Mm-hmm. But nobody would do that, okay? But if you put a beat behind it, people would do it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's funny. You can call a girl a bitch and she'll say, don't call me a fucking bitch. I'm not a fucking bitch. Mm-hmm. You go to a fucking club. Where my bitch is at? Girls will do handstands and fucking make them booty cheek clap.
Hell yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. I was getting excited. Oh man, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's just like everything else. It's like throwing drugs in the community. Yeah, it's like, you know, whatever you want them to do. It's like having everybody beat up all the vendors out there. Like, you want to start a race war? Boom, this is what we're gonna do. Like, a lot of the shit is just unfortunately controlled.
I say, let's make people slur and act retarded. How are we gonna do that? We rap about it and we tell them to drink medicine with a soda.
And everyone's going to go out there and do it.
Yes.
And that'll kill them off.
Yeah, kill them off, and now we got...
Yeah. So. I mean, we're lucky some people are out there still trying to, like, change it, thankfully. Shout out to my homie DJ Head. He's a real one. He'll tell rappers straight up, like, you fucking suck. He's just real. Like, he's when I see the radio now, I'm like, at least DJ Head is there because he's not lying to nobody.
Yeah.
He ain't bullshitting. If
Papa
you're not good, you're not good.
Are lying to rappers. You guys are fucking fire.
Oh, man. I don't...
Stop fucking dick riding.
Trust. I mean, I straight up, like, was trying out for Power 106 and, like, somebody else who got that role, that is the person that didn't like that music whatsoever. Like, I at least like some of it because I can like some of the... I can go with the times a little bit if I'm feeling the lyrics or if the beat is like, to me it sounds fire, like all together as a harmony. I'm like, okay, I can fuck with this. But like to go into a room and pretend that you like all these people, that's shady. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like where you're not doing the job that job used to be, which let me know that like I'm no longer like mad at radio or radio people. Because I just feel like now that I'm realizing on my own, like I just didn't belong there because that's just not me. Right. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep it real too.
But that's why you have your own platform. And that's why I'm asking everybody for my podcast to support you because you're keeping it real.
Thank you.
Honestly. Because eventually when radio goes to fucking extinct, it's going to come to this. Okay?
We're here already.
That's what I believe. Radio, you're almost out the fucking door. All you fucking radio personalities that think you're the fucking shit, you're not the fucking shit. You're just a fucking dick rider. Dick riding fucking artists that are fucking booty as fuck. And you're just fucking over here like, oh, you're fucking great. You're fucking awesome. Your album's fucking fire. When can we see you next? You know, goddamn well you don't bump them. Stop running. Stop running. You know, goddamn well that label paid Power 106, K-Day to play you. Stop.
It's so true. I wish more people knew, and I wish more people were into like the backgrounds of things, because
I know.
I mean, like I said, I think I even said it on your show, like no one gave a fuck until I went to Power 106, and they didn't realize how hard I was fucking working to make that happen. You know what I mean?
All of a sudden, Sammy Joe, can you give me
Oh
there?
my God, I can't.
Joe,
I'm so proud of you. Da, 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 you know, and it just was like, you weren't proud of me when I was just doing this shit already. It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, what took so long? This fucking name on the background? Like, that's it?
Right.
That's why I'm super mean to some of my artists. And some people know what's up, because I'll be like, you know, they'll be like, oh, can I come on? And blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, nah, dog. I seen you take pictures over there.
Yeah.
And they didn't interview you, huh?
Right.
I want to know. Like, did you take pictures there and post it and act like you were doing some work there?
Right.
Or did someone really interview there? Because that lets me know you're looking for that.
Right.
So you go stick to that. I don't care how hard you work at your shit. Like, yes, I understand you want to be in rooms and like you know, you want to get your shit played and blah, blah. But to me, it does not start with ass kissing. It starts with perfecting your craft.
Yeah.
You know?
Joe, just keep it real.
Keep it real. Keep it real.
Just
And
keep it real.
you always keep it real, Tony. And I want to thank you so much for coming here and keeping it real and raw with us.
Thank you for inviting me. It's truly an honor and a pleasure. You know what? There's been a lot of people that have been asking me to come on their show. And there's a lot of people, I'm going to be real with you. I deny people because it's a vibe thing. Even though it might be a DM, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it.
For sure.
Okay? When you asked me, I was like, oh shit, for reals?
Hell yeah.
Like, I was like, okay, cool. And we have so many mutual friends.
Yes.
You know, so I was kind of surprised that we never met.
Yeah, me too.
Me, I have to give the gab. I love talking. So when you invite me and you said, you ready? I'll fucking talk your head off.
Hey, you know what? Maybe we never met that whole time through all these people and that people, and we met through each other, right?
Yeah.
And I hope that as much as it's been a blessing for me to cross path with all the blessings that I've had, that you're the same man. You honestly have just shown me throughout this whole podcast that the same things have happened to you. You know what I mean? Because I feel super blessed on the people that I've run into.
Yeah.
Because and they're not even, I mean, some people have big names and some people don't. But it's, depending on what it's done for me, it's always been a blessing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me say this one last thing.
Yeah.
That I truly believe, I truly believe that I have been blessed to be a blessing. So with that being said, I have to say that being 53 years old, I have more years behind me than in front of me. So all I want to do is just bless others with opportunities. But all I ask of you that I bless, when you walk through that door, open the door for the next man.
Amen.
That's all I'm saying. Just open the door for the next man. You know, I met people that said, "Oh, I'm going to close it," and I don't mess with those people no more.
Yeah.
Just bless the next person, and
For sure.
and that's it. You know, continue to open the door for our people.
For sure.
That's all I want.
That statement lets me know that the reason I feel like I know you is because we're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. It's not a coincidence that we've met.
That's what I'm saying. I really think it was fate because, like, yeah, we know all these people and you know, and we probably should have met before or maybe even years ago, you know, because I even met High C, you know what I mean? That was random. That was one time, you know?
Right.
But I think it worked out in a way because of what I'm going through at this time of doing my podcast, you over there doing your podcast, and this lets me know that I'm still on the right path because I'm still staying true to me. You know what I mean? And to be complimented by you, and even to be like for you to feel honored, I'm doing everything that I need to do right.
And you know what, Sammy Joe? Think about this. I didn't have to reach out to you.
No, you didn't.
But you know what I did? When I went to your page and I saw you podcasting, I felt compelled.
Oh, wow.
I truly did. I said, hey, are you down for an interview?
Damn.
Are you down for an interview? You can post that up if you want.
That's awesome.
And you said yes. I said, let's do it. Because I want to be a blessing. That's all. So
you did. You blessed me for sure.
So
I can't even believe you said that. Like, you felt compelled after seeing that. Like, that makes me feel good. It's been a minute. I just started posting more and more content as of recent because for a minute, God, I don't like people who steal shit. And, you know, when you're trying to still build your name, people are like, oh, she's still small. Let me just go grab that from her. And I hate it. It's honestly, it depresses me. It pisses me off. And I'm trying to grow from that shit. I'm trying to be... Right. I'm trying to stop being scandalous, but it's hard. I need to get that hat. I need to get the whole fit and everything.
No, I'm gonna get that for you.
But yes, thank you again, Tony. I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up here. Do we have anybody to send them over to?
Yeah, Jose.
Oh, is he? Okay, cool. Shout out to the homie Jose. He's a real one. Okay, cool. Well, Tony, do you want to let them know where to follow you and all that?
Yeah, just go to Roadium Radio, not road or rodeo radio. It's Roadium Radio. If you gotta look it up, Google Roadium Swapmeet. That's how you spell Roadium. Everybody always goes ROD. It's not it.
Yeah.
Google Roadium Swapmeet, but it's Roadium Radio, and I'm on Instagram. That's where you reach me. Okay.
For sure.
If you want to email me, it's roadiumradio@gmail.com. I also have another podcast called Freaky Tales Podcast.
Yes.
At gmail.com or Freaky Tales Podcast on Instagram and YouTube.
What's the eating one?
The which one?
The one where you guys...
Dining with the Wizard.
I want to do that.
Yeah, Dining with the Wizard. I'm going to book you.
Okay. Wait, do you like order a meal from somewhere or do you have someone come sponsor it?
No. Sometimes sponsor.
Because I know someone really good.
Okay. Here's what we can do. Let's just say I say, yo, Sammy Joe, let's do Roadium Radio. Dining with the Wizard. You say, okay, cool. And I always ask you, what do you want to have? Say you have a guy that says, hey, Tony, I got a guy that does dope-ass pupusas.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get him.
Okay, cool.
Then all we do is eat. We shout him out, throughout the show.
Yes.
Get these dope pupusas, queso con camarón or whatever you want to do. Okay. We talk about current events. We talk about movies. We talk about whatever.
Yeah.
While we eat and drink. That's all.
I'm fucking in, and I already know who would do that episode.
Yeah, that's it.
So let me know when you're ready.
Dining with the Wizard. We average at least 10K every fucking episode.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, the person that I want to bring along, I'm going to interview her later. But I think that would be dope for us to connect through her because she definitely deserves many blessings. Yes. Her mother actually passed away from breast cancer, and she had to, take the kids under. You're a daughter becoming a mother, and she works her ass off, and she's always at different events serving up, and she's raza, and I want to help her.
Oh yeah, let's do that because that's the same thing my mother passed away from.
Oh wow!
So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. Yeah. I can't wait.
So Dining with the Wizard, that's another one that we do. And other than that, I'll just give a couple of shout outs.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to
This is your podcast.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to my son, Be Scandalous. It's not Be Nice, it's Be Scandalous.
Nice.
I want to give a shout out to my boy, Anthony the Hip Hop Jedi, who always uses the Force inappropriately. I want to give a shout out to Alex Cervantes Enterprise. You can follow him at 81 Cervantes Enterprise on Instagram. And I'm going to give a shout out to myself. Yes. You can follow me at Roadium Radio, or you can follow me on _TonyVision, or Freaky Tales Podcast on Instagram. Other than that, Cisco and D Zamora from Odessa, Texas, thank you not only for supporting me, but supporting her.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. And I'm going to thank Raza, all the Roadium Radio warriors that tuned in. Just everybody. I want to give a shout out to B-Real, to Bobby D, to everybody that's showed me love and support. And I want to thank your whole team right here.
Thank you. Thank you. They're fans, man. They're fans.
Yeah, so
they don't know how to act.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody. You know what? And just like I said, if I can bless you, I will. Because like I said, I've been blessed to be a blessing.
Yes.
And when I leave this earth, I'm gonna leave with nothing. And if there's anything that I want to be remembered for, and I've already told my family this, that on my tombstone, I wanted to read this, and I will never change it. Here lies a God-fearing man, and that's it.
Wow. I've never done this before, but we're going to end on an applause because that was incredible. That was a great interview. One of my favorite, I don't know. I think it has to be like top 2. for reals, like it meant so much. It meant so much, and things that mean so much goes so long, goes a long way. And for you to come out and say something like that at the end, and I already told you, I'm leaving this stuff behind. It is a pleasure and an honor to carry your story along with mine.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up like that. I do want to give a shout out to the team for being here with me. I know I've had them here all week, been putting them to work, but your girls we're just trying to work, and we're trying to stay blessed, and we're trying to still push content and all that. So try to keep up, and I'm not a Kardashian, and it won't be that hard. But keep up with us, and let everybody know, again, we're on all platforms. This episode, unfortunately, because we have a couple episodes we are done this week, it will be out in maybe a couple weeks. So give us that time for the editing and all that. But for now, it'll be up on Twitch. So if you want to share it with any of your friends, go ahead and send them over to this page. And this will be the page where it will be on until I do some more interviews. Other than that, I also want to say a big shout out to Only One of Me. It is his birthday on Monday. And I also want to shout out DJ Angie V, because it is also her birthday, I believe, on Monday.
Angie V,
actually on Tuesday.
I met her at the Regent Scam Jam.
There it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, we missed each other.
Yes.
Me and this fool would always be there.
Dope
on
DJ,
stage.
and let me say one last thing.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
My favorite holiday.
I put on the scary little background. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out like that. It's your girl, Fox. Bye.